what's going on? Oh, geez, I forgot my light. All right, there we go. That's better. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 165 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, we're just talking more about that final trailer for Halloween Ends. We're going to get Tony's thoughts tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! We are live. Episode 165. The final Halloween trailer is upon us.
Yeah, not to be all depressing about life, but this very well could be the last, for a while anyways, the last new trailer that we will get to discuss on this show, unless they do something in the Season of the Witch realm. But as far as anything Michael goes, got a feeling it's going to be a minute before, but then again, who knows, right?
You never know. You never know. But you know, I said this yesterday on the stream that I did to cover the release. You know, I see a lot of people that saying like, "Oh, this isn't the last one. This is," and of course, it's not going to be the last Halloween movie. But I really do think we need to take a sort of I think we need to take pause for us Halloween fans and kind of just go, well, but this is the end of something. And what that something is, as I've said 1,000 times, this truly is the end of Halloween as we know it. Now, is there always a chance that there could be a direct sequel to Halloween Ends? Is there always a chance that fast forward 10, 15 years down the road and an 85-year-old Jamie Lee Curtis comes back, or 80-year-old
right?
Sure.
Retcons a new timeline.
Sure. It's always possible, but is it probable? I don't think it is this late in the game. The more that you know, whether is it Father Time, I think it is. The more that Father Time creeps up on us all, the less and less likely that these things happen. It's like Harrison Ford next year as Indiana Jones. Is it always possible that we could get a 6th Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford? Sure. But is it probable? Not likely. He's 80 years old. What is he going to be? 87? He can still watch. Yeah. I mean, I truly believe that this really is the end of Halloween as we know it. Of course, there's going to be another Halloween movie somewhere down the road, whether that's Season of the Witch, whether that's a complete remake, whether that's a reboot, whether that's a streaming show, whether that's, you know, a direct sequel to 4, sure. Oh, yeah, fine. But this iteration of Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, the same Laurie Strode from the 1978 original, the same Michael Myers from that began 44 years. No, I think this is it. And I think it's going to be very apparent with how it ends. I think people are going to go, yeah, okay, yeah, there's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? Like, I think, now I know people are going to go, oh, but he came back from having his head chopped off. Yeah, but I think if they follow a similar route, there's going to be some sort of demasking to make sure it's not the ambulance driver. Do you know what I mean? Just say it.
I think when it comes to that scenario with what they did with H2O and Resurrection, I think it's a fool me once scenario. Okay, you got me, but I don't think fans will buy into it a second time around. I think fans are smarter when it comes to this shit nowadays.
Right.
They're not falling for that shit anymore. And you're just going to hurt your credibility. You know, if they pick up from where Ends leaves off, whatever that may be,
or maybe
we have no idea what that's going to be. We don't know if Corey still alive. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know how all that's going to play out, but I think you're right with regards to the loophole that this franchise does have is they could go back and retcon and pick up from where 4 left off. And technically, if they did that, that means Jamie Lee could come back again, you know what I mean, and faked her death again. You know what I
The
mean? So there's that loophole that's in there, that's out there.
The thing with that is, I think it's just such a low probability, at least now. I mean, maybe, you know, you let this trilogy marinate for a bit, you go off and do something else. Maybe you do Season of the Witch, who knows? And maybe 5-10 years, maybe 15, maybe you explore. But then again, at that time, Danielle Harris, I mean, you know, we're in and around the same age. We'll all be, you know, knocking on 60. I mean, you know, but I think there's sort of it's true. I think there's the probability of them doing that, I also think, is highly unlikely. Now, can you do it logistically? Does it make sense in terms of well, you say if we retcon this and we do a direct sequel to this, we could just do this. And sure, of course, story-wise, you could totally do it. But I just think, you know, I don't think there's mass appeal. I don't think there's a general movie. I'm already like, if you scroll the non-horror pages or the non-Halloween pages, and I've said 1,000 times, you know, we get lost in our own Halloween. There are horror fans that don't give a fuck about Halloween. Just as there's many horror fans that don't give a fuck about Child's Play or Scream or Elm Street or Friday the 13th. Sometimes you get big fans of, you know, one, but not big fans of another. I mean, believe it or not, Halloween fans, there are a lot of horror fans that don't give a frog's fat ass about Michael Myers and could not care less whether this Halloween movie does well or not. They might have seen a couple of the movies. They appreciate, you know, what it's done for horror, but they don't give a fuck. And we sometimes get lost in a bubble thinking that everybody cares about it just as much as we do, and they don't. That's why you see a lot of trailers will reveal certain things and show certain things, because they need to cut trailers that have a general movie-going audience appeal. If it was Halloween fans cutting the trailers, it would be too inside baseball. It would be too niche. You know what I mean? They need to show certain things. They need to do that to appeal. And I just feel that all of a sudden, 2 years from now, doing a direct sequel to Halloween 4 and Danielle Harris comes back, the general movie-going audience would be like, what? Weren't they all? They'd be confused. They wouldn't get it because they don't follow it the same way we do. I mean, there are people, and you know this, I know this, our viewers know this. When 18 was being released, there were lots of people going, didn't she die? Because they're thinking it's canonically H2O, connected to Resurrection. Right? They don't follow it, right? That's your general movie-going audience. And as I've said many times, yes, Halloween 18 became the highest-grossing slasher in motion picture history, but it wasn't because of all the Halloween fans. I mean, we played a big part, but it was because you had all the general movie-going audience. There are people that just want to go see a scary movie in October, right? And they're like, oh, Halloween, let's go do that. Halloween 18 was the first Halloween movie that was released in the month of October in nearly 30 years, since Halloween 5. 6 wasn't released in October, H2O wasn't, Resurrection wasn't, and neither was Rob Zombie's films. This was the first time. So the spooky season is here. There are lots of horror fans that just want to go see a scary movie, and it got good word of mouth. It was critically acclaimed, There was a lot of things going for it. It overperformed. And I think it has made a lot of Halloween fans think that all these people really care about it. I mean, I'm already seeing in the comments, you know, if you go to like sites like MovieWeb, or you go to I don't know, all sorts of pages that are movie centric, but not necessarily horror centric, you're seeing people go, again? Already? Yeah, I guess I'll go see it. I mean, you're seeing this from non-horror fans. So
there definitely is
there's fatigue,
a burnout, a fatigue for sure.
For sure.
I definitely think it's time to resurrect Freddy and Jason. How? Yes. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think we need that freshness. We need those two guys to come back. Michael has pretty much, you know, we got Ghostface, you know, but I mean, Ghostface, you know, the thing with Ghostface, it's not one individual. You know what I mean? Ghostface is anyone. That's the character of Ghostface. Correct. It's anyone. So I don't count Ghostface in that same category. And I'm not really a big Child's Play fan. I've never even watched an episode of the series.
I haven't checked it out either yet. It's shot here in Toronto, though.
It's Child's Play's never. I like the first two movies, but I just anything past that was just I didn't care.
Same. I mean, I stopped after 3.
What's his name? Cody's like a massive Chucky fan.
Huge fan. Yeah.
That's, you know, I think that's cool. I never warmed up to it. But anyways, my point is, as far as Freddy and Jason, it's time, you know, like Michael's carried the torch here for the last 6 years. And I think if either one of those two, Freddy or Jason, came back and done well, say like done in the vein of 2018, that would be a nice freshness.
I agree.
To
I agree.
Just throwing some new blood in there.
Well, I agree. And look, I mean, I just, I sort of went off on a rant there, but the overall point I was making is that I don't think this is going to continue as quickly as people think it's going to. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get maybe something within the Halloween sphere, but I would be very surprised. I would be very shocked if, like, there's an announcement next year that all of a sudden we're getting another Halloween movie with Michael Myers. I was like, oh God, I think Universal can't wait to get rid of this. And I do. I think they are. Yes, for sure. Not because it hasn't made them money. It has, but because it's like, what can you do? The one thing I will give credit, although, we haven't seen the film yet, is clearly Halloween Ends is taking a bit of a different approach. And if there's one positive you could look at this potential is, well, at least it's not going to be the same fucking thing over again. And that's part of the problem. As I've said from the very beginning on this channel, that the more sequels you make, the shittier and shittier they're going to become, because you run out of ideas and you're trying to think about how to keep it fresh, especially with a character of Michael Myers that is totally built around anonymity and ambiguity, right? I mean, how do you keep someone an enigma by continuing to make movies of them? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So I do think that this is the end of this. And maybe 5, maybe 6 years down the road, maybe for the 50th anniversary in 2028, maybe you'll see some sort of announcement in 2027 or something that we're going to reboot it, reimagine it, a little bit, not get too crazy, but, kind of tell the story again for a fresh audience. Who knows where we'll be by that time in terms of streaming? Maybe it'll be a series. Who knows? But I do think this is the end, and I'm kind of happy. I'm glad, not because I'm not a Halloween fan, but because I am a Halloween fan. And like I've said 1,000 times, we've got the good, we've got the bad, we've got the ugly, we've got like nearly 13 movies. I mean, we don't need this to go on. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, I respect those who want it to go on, but I'm just thinking, okay, all right, good luck.
The legacy of Halloween and whatnot will continue to go on through people like yourself creating content,
everybody
myself creating content. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where, I understand the want and the desire to have like a new movie and stuff. Yeah. But there does come a point where it's like, you reach the end of the line.
Story's got to come to an end.
Yeah, you got to move on. And like I said, I've said this for years. I'm very open to what John Carpenter originally wanted to do with Season of the Witch and continue on after that, what are these other Halloween or stories that you wanted to do that took place on Halloween night? Because apparently he had several of these things lined up. And so what are they? Is there something there that we can flesh out? And, whether it's I don't know if I would do it as a Netflix series. There's pros and cons to the Netflix things. If you tell 10 different stories, you're getting it all at once and then you're done, rather than 10 different movies and you get a decade worth of, stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, who knows?
And look, I mean, again, if you disagree with myself or with Tony, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm not speaking passionamente because I'm trying to be the arbiter.
Totally understand it. You want more. I get it.
But I'm simply not, I'm not trying to suggest that I'm the all-knowing what. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Dave just hates it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they're out there. I'm telling you how I feel and why I feel that way. If you disagree,
Dave,
that's totally
you are
fine.
not allowed to have feelings.
I'm not. It's totally fine. But Dave,
you're not allowed.
I'm not allowed. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I just think that it's nice when stories can conclude. And I know there's people out there saying, but Michael can't die. He's the epitome of evil. It's like, no, you guys don't. I struggle with this too. And And really, they backed themselves into a corner by doing a movie beyond Halloween 2, because that's sort of the problem, right? Is that the original idea for Michael, he is a human being, folks. John Carpenter has even said he is human, but there is a supernaturalness. There's whatever you want to say, a supernatural element, a supernatural edge, whatever the case is. There's something weird about him, right? And whatever that something is has to remain unknowable, because that's what makes the character work. As soon as you know what that is, Halloween 6, everything falls apart, right? Some people might love it, some people might hate it, but it's got to remain unknowable. It has to, because that's the engine. That's what makes him so mysterious. That's the mystique that surrounds him. It's the boogeyman. It's the man in the shadows. Now, what is this? Who is it? What's there? It's unknowable, and that's why I don't think that they should reveal anything about this in Halloween Ends. You can have your characters confused about it. You can have your characters talk about it and acknowledge it and even try to figure it out. That's okay. Seeing them have conversations about how weird that's cool. But he's unknowable. But he's not fully supernatural in the sense of like a Jason or a Freddy, where it's very clearly defined. He is a human being, but how does he do that? And it makes it eerier, because in the back of your head, that's why it works. If Michael was just 100% supernatural, well, then, it's just, But the fact that he's a man, but there's something, but how did he, wait a minute, how did he, but he was just, that's what keeps you watching. That's what keeps you guessing. That's the journey, right? That's what's going on? It's like sitting late at night talking about Bigfoot or something, or, talking about aliens or watching mysterious, creepy, videos at 2:00 in the morning. It's the same kind of feeling that you get when you watch those types of videos, when you start looking at Michael Myers and you're trying to decipher and analyze and deconstruct. But he cannot be clearly defined. He must remain an enigma. He must. And so I'm hoping that Halloween Ends honors that, and they kill him by killing him any other way that you would probably kill somebody at this point. They blow him up with a stick of dynamite. I have no idea. Right. But these are my thoughts. These are my opinions. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't agree.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man.
So what did you think of the trailer?
Didn't really tell me anything new. Got to see Lindsay, which I was excited for. I mean, I don't watch trailers like most people, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, although I will say now that I'm sharing horror pictures again, and I've got
did you see I put your Facebook there?
Yeah, it's so weird seeing that. It's so
I know.
Weird after years of being away
Well, when
from
you
Facebook.
Sent me a text and you're like, listen, dude, I'm shutting down those two other things on Instagram. I'm pulling up Facebook. Instagram. I'm like, Facebook? Every now and then, Tony goes through phases. I'm done with Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm done with Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
It's not even that. Actually, I'm having more fun. It's more fun doing it now. This is the way I wanted it to be. And with Instagram, it got so out of control. Like at the end there, when I was doing the horror pictures on Instagram, it was like up to like 15,000 people. And it was just, I don't know. There's a lot of issues that I have with Instagram, and the fact that you get all these followers, but like they never engage on shit that you post. And I'm like, well, why the fuck are you following me? Like,
sometimes people are just silent supporters from the.
It doesn't help you build the platform, though, especially on Instagram. You know what I mean? Instagram, in order to build a platform, you have to engage. It's not like YouTube. Like, people can watch you silently and not engage in the comment section. That's totally, But on Instagram, if you're not engaging into the content, then you're stalling my platform, which is doing me no good. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm throwing everything on fucking Facebook, but it's fun. What I like about the community that I'm building on Facebook, especially sharing the horror content again, is we're having fun with it, man. We're talking to each other about it, and
it's great,
and that's what I want. That's the kind of shit I want when I'm, it's what I wanted initially on Instagram, but then they're just people stealing your shit. And that's the other thing too. People can't steal my shit now, because either I accept you as a friend or I don't. And I'm, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. So there's the link right there, folks. Facebook.com/AnthonyMichael579 on Facebook.
what I was starting to say is I've got a I've got a 2018 mask that's being made for me right now. And I've got some 2018, watching the 2018 film again, watching Kills, and then seeing this trailer. It's giving me some ideas that I wanted to do for some upcoming photo shoots that I have for when our fall hits, which won't be till November. Yeah, I mean, you know, with the trailer, in the first trailer we got back in July, and nothing like that I can sit there, because I don't dissect trailers. I mean, look, I know like there's a lot of people who go through frame by frame. Did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this?
I did that yesterday. It was quite excruciatingly pleasurable.
I can't do that.
I did actually.
I you know, I'm not going to speculate whether or not if that's Corey on the
his
table,
left ass cheek
pinned down. You know what I mean?
No.
If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. You know, I'll find out in 2 weeks.
You'll
when
find
I watch
out.
the movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of my approach. But I like I said, with regards to this Corey thing and whatnot, I'm curious, man. Like, you know, like it's either going to stick the landing or it's going to be a total fucking disaster. I mean, we said this a few weeks ago on one of our streams, I believe. They have no room for error on this. You know what I mean? There's no like, you can't fuck this up. You know what I mean? Like, because if you fuck this up, you know, fans are going to be unforgiving. I mean, you know, you've already left, and I get it. There's a lot of people who don't like Kills. You know, I like a lot of Kills, but it's changing on me a bit more. But what I am enjoying now is the 2018 film. I am appreciating that even more so, and that film is growing on me more and more than when it first came out, because I wasn't really the biggest fan of the 2018 film when it first dropped. Now that, you know, 6 years has gone by, it's grown on me a lot more, and I am liking it a lot more than Kills, for sure. I think where Kills hits me the most that I enjoy is the flashback sequence. Obviously, those were executed so well. And Michael's kills, when he's on screen doing his thing, I've got no complaints. But everything else in that movie, I see where the more time that I've had with it, the more I can start to agree with a lot of people and where they're coming from on like, it didn't land. It didn't, you know, they didn't stick the landing on that movie. Opportunities there, but opportunities missed. They could have done a lot better with certain story arcs in that film. In fact, besides the flashback sequence, I got to say probably the most rewarding thing in that movie is watching Judy Greer get fucked up by Michael Myers, because I'm not a Judy Greer fan, or Greer, or however she pronounces her name.
Greer, yeah.
Greer. Yeah, so with Ends, you want to go out on a high note, and I just feel like I sure as shit hope in an hour and 51 minute runtime that you're able to execute this story with this Corey thing and how they're going to do it without leaving the audience feeling like they should have done this in Kills. You know what I mean? Where like you've given people maybe, you know, a movie and a half. I'm not saying Kill should have been all of Corey, but maybe another half of a movie with this character, because this dude's coming out of left field. You know what I mean? We had Cameron as Allison's love interest, and I'm assuming Corey is Allison's love interest in this one.
100%. That's yeah.
Right. So, and I understand Cameron's dead and it's 4 years removed. So I get where they're coming from. So it's not saying I don't understand. I totally understand where they're coming from. But I don't want to, when I finish watching the movie on Peacock, because I'm not going to watch it in theater, I'm going to watch it in the comfort of my home, on my beanbag chair, my underwear. When I watch it, eating Cheetos or Doritos. I'm a Doritos guy. I don't want to feel like, damn, I needed more time with this character. You know what I mean? And I also want I don't like, if the character should be killed off in this, I don't want the character to be shortchanged either. Like we didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I I don't want either one. Michael, I don't want Michael to be shortchanged in this because there's a lot to tell in an hour and 51 minutes. Because you got to tell what, you want to give enough screen time for Michael, because I mean, it's his show and it's his last dance, right? So you want to make sure you're giving the audience enough of that. But if you're introducing us to this character and you're going to give this kind of twist to the storyline, I want some time with that as well too, and see how that all unfolds. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. And then obviously you want to see, personally, I mean, I'm on the side of, I want to see Allison as the last one standing, the symbolism of the torch being passed to her, but not meaning continuing on with more movies, but that she is the sole survivor. She's this generation's Laurie Strode. I hope they don't shortchange her in this movie either and focus more on Laurie, because they were real, you saw the buildup with her in the 2018 film and in Kills, that it seemed like the torch was going to be passed from grandma to granddaughter. And I'm totally on board with that. But with so much shit that they got to tell, I don't know how they're going to do it in an hour and 51 minute film. What do you think?
No, well,
50,
I mean,
whatever it is.
Yeah, well, like I've said, I mean, this people need to be prepared that this is a character-driven film. So you're going to get a lot of drama, and I don't mean drama as in unnecessary drama. I mean just a lot of character, moments. There's a lot of things we need to be caught up on, and it may or may not even feel like a Halloween film until maybe the last act of the movie. I don't know. I'm just saying that, based on everything I'm seeing and hearing and things that they need to catch up on and all the things they need to develop. And like I said, a lot of the stuff we're seeing in the promotional material, not all of it, like I said yesterday, not all of it, but a lot of it, most of it, maybe even 80% of it looks and feels like third act stuff. It's very much focused around, nighttime, that brawl, the fight, Laurie looking, disheveled. There's a lot of that, right? And so there might be a lot of, I mean, who knows what the first and second act are. I mean, there's going to be a lot of catching up, finding where they are, how they're dealing with the residual effects. We saw that leaked clip with Allison and Laurie and her having that moment with I mean, there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah,
so
like you're obsessed with death and all
right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these character-driven moments in this movie, which makes sense when you do fast forward 4 years into the future. That's what that's what you kind of have to do. You wouldn't need to do that if you had picked up on the same night again. Now, again, having 3 movies take place on one night is incredibly ambitious. I mean, I always thought that from the very beginning, but if you have the right story and it makes sense and you've properly, compartmentalized each film, well, then it could probably work. I mean, look at, 24. I mean, they have a whole season that takes place in a day. So, yeah, I mean, sure. You absolutely can do it. But for whatever reason, during the pandemic, they sat there and thought, no, this is a better idea. We're going to completely abandon the other idea. I'd be very curious to know what, if any, of the original idea made it into the new idea. I have no idea, but
the one thing they got to really sell me on, and I need to believe, is why Michael's been absent for 4 years. That's the big one. I mean, like we kind of figure out, they're loosely taking the resurrection approach where Michael's just hiding out underground in a sewer, because wasn't that where he was in Resurrection? That he had like an underground
something like that
to the house or some shit.
Yeah,
like
underneath the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So even though it's not underneath his home, he's living off the grid in the sewers somewhere. And I'm not saying that that's not possible. And I'm not saying that maybe he's using the 4 years to recoup and, recover and shit. The dude was blasted with some bullets and lost, his fingers and burned, and, maybe he needs to just sleep for 4 years. Well, I don't know. But I have to believe it. I have to understand that, okay, for the last 4 years, this is why he stayed in hiding, and this is why now he's coming back out to kill. You know what I mean? However they're going to execute that, hopefully, they've thought that through, and I'm sure they have. I think, I don't know. I believe it, and I hope they didn't give away too much. The only scene that I've probably have thought about a little bit is the clips in the sewer. again, I don't like to speculate and guess how that scene is playing out because we don't know the context. We don't know where in the movie that is. Is it the beginning? Is it the middle? Is it the end? Is that the moment where, Corey, bows down and starts going all like Wayne and Garth, I'm not worthy, and worshiping his idol, and Michael gives him I don't even know if I would want to see something like that. You know what I mean? That Michael takes the masks off and hands it to him. Like things like that I started thinking about, and I'm like, so like, what would you think if you actually saw that on screen, or, and you're watching it and they're in the sewer, and maybe that is the moment where Corey, says, I want to help you, and I want to, do your deed, or whatever the dialogue is going to be, and Michael hands him the mask.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that on the nose. I think it's going to be no. I think it's going to be implied. So the right way to do this is, I think what you see in the trailer is exactly what you're going to get. So he's down there for whatever reason. Corey is down under whatever reason. He's down in the tunnels, and he comes across Michael, and he has that moment, which we see in the trailer. He has that moment where he's looking into the eyes of Michael Myers, and what they're going now. And I don't think they say this, they don't spill it out, which if you are going to go, this isn't a creative decision I would make or a direction I would go in, but if you are going to go in this direction, then I think leaving it unsaid is the right thing to do. The less you have to explain, or the less you have to, tell people what's going on, the better. So I think all what's going to happen there is, through that moment of him looking into Michael's eyes and Michael looking into his eyes, and them sharing that romantic, that romantic moment between the two there, I think it's going to be very clear, at least it should be very clear, we don't need it spelled out, that something is happening. All you have to see is him looking at it's all done through cinematic language and the way it's edited, right? So he's got him by the throat. Imagine this is the scene. And we sort of, again, saw this in the trailer. He's got him by the throat. We look at Corey, we see his eyes widen. We cut to Michael, we see his eyes, but we don't see his eyes. We just see, the black holes, right? And then we cut back to Corey, and Corey's like this again. And then we cut back. Well, what's going on there. I mean, we get it. And then he throws him to the ground, and he's still got him, and he's looking up at him from the ground, and Michael's looking down at him, and he's looking up at him, and Michael's looking down at him. I mean, you don't need to say, oh, by the way, the evil essence is being transferred. You don't need to say that. We sort of get kind of, that doesn't mean you agree with the creative decision to go that route, but I think just, with that sort of execution, you sit there and you go, okay, I guess I kind of, and then what happens is Corey probably makes it out of there, maybe just by the skin of his teeth. And that's when you start to see a real change in him, like in Christine. Right? That's when you start to see a real sort of change. He goes back to Allison. He's acting a little strange, and Allison's kind of like, are you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired. And then over the course of the movie, insidiously, he gets darker and maybe more controlling, maybe a little more verbally abusive, things like that. And then of course it comes, I'm not saying this is what happens, but you can totally see this happening, right? You know what I mean? And that's what I think they're just going to show and not tell, right? And that's the way to sort of do it. And, what sort of exposition and information we do get along with that, I don't know. I have no idea.
But I am excited. I'm also disappointed that they're going to kill a DJ in this movie.
Oh yeah. Hey, and if you look closely,
Everybody was DMing me like, dude, you see the DJ's gonna get it.
Yeah. Like, oh, if you look closely though, it doesn't look like it's Michael Myers doing it. I hate to say it, folks.
Definitely doesn't look like it's Michael doing the deed, but
no, it's not. It's Corey, because he's got a ring on his pinky. He's
also a lot smaller.
He's a lot smaller. Yeah, his jumpsuit's a lot cleaner. Like, I hate to say, there are still people, and maybe there are people that aren't because there are people that are horror fans. They know a Halloween movie is coming out, but they're not connected to, neck deep into all the nitty gritty shit that is going on. So there are a lot of people that don't know Corey is, whatever, and could watch this trailer, and it's cut very well in the sense of, you could watch this trailer, and if you don't know what we know, you would literally think every shot of Michael Myers is Michael Myers. You would have no reason not to believe that. And you would think this guy who's just like, he's coming for you, would just think he's some weird guy in there, whatever, just some other character. You wouldn't necessarily think that he's suddenly going to be cosplaying as Michael Myers for a good portion of the movie. But that is what's going to happen. And there are still people out there that are doing videos and again, maybe it's because they don't really know, or maybe they don't want to believe it and they're just trying to hope that it's not. I'm telling you, Corey dresses up as Michael Myers and wrecks shit up in this movie. It's what happens. And now the question is why? Well, depends on, there's many theories. There's many sort of different things coming in from all over the place. One is that he's obviously been quote unquote possessed, or he's been affected by that experience with Michael, and he's seeking revenge on people that have bullied him in his life. Maybe who didn't believe that he didn't kill that kid, which isn't a spoiler, that's in the synopsis. And then towards the end of the movie, as the evil has fully taken over inside him, he takes the Myers mask and goes on a spree. Looks like that's kind of what's out there. And I think we should just call a spade a spade. I know we want to sort of look at, well, maybe actually it's maybe that's Laurie's hand. No, it's Corey's. Maybe that, no, it's Michael. Guys, it is what it is. There's no, fancy editing in here to make it look like all of a sudden it's not Corey. It's oh my God, it's Dick Warlock. No, a new car. It is what it is. That's not to say that there may not be some narrative surprises. Like maybe there's a cameo we didn't know about. Maybe there's a scene where you're like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Dr. Loomis resurrected from the dead.
Maybe it is. But I think the fundamental foundation of the story is exactly what we've been discussing for the last 6 weeks.
I gotta say, I'm not against the idea of this Corey. You know what I mean? I hope we don't get shortchanged. You know what I mean? Like, look, I never want anyone to upstage Michael in his movie because it's his show. But having said that, like you said a few moments ago when we started the stream, we're 13 fucking movies in. We need some fresh blood. Okay, so if I'm seeing someone else, well, there's that too.
Yes.
But having I don't want it to be necessarily I don't want it to be as simple as a copycat killer. To be honest with you, I'm hoping they go down the road that this kid is fucked. Like, he is fucked in the head. Like, and everything he does is justifiable. Like, he's so lost with reality that his obsession with Michael Myers to want to be like Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that. He embraces that, and I'm torn on: do I want it to be James or Laurie killing Corey, or Michael killing him, saying, "You're not going to upstage me. This is my show." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm torn on
I think we've been tossing around the word copycat, and I don't think it's. It's really a semantics thing. From a certain point of view, I don't think it's actually correct. Although I don't know, what the rules are of what a copycat is or what a copycat isn't in terms of the audience's perspective. But I think generally speaking, when there's a copycat, the audience also thinks that it's the person, doing the killing that is normally doing the killing, but ends up being somebody else. In this case, I have a feeling that we as an audience are going to know it's Corey. We're not going to not know and think that, oh my God, and when the mask is, removed, we're all going to have like a Scooby-Doo moment. I don't think that's the case.
I just think because the size.
Right. But I think,
to be honest with you, Corey looks more like the way Michael, the size-wise, as far as like, it's what Michael, it's the last time we seen that size was 1978.
Yeah.
He's this kid who's playing Corey. He's not that. When I say big, he might be tall, but he's not.
He's only like 5'10". He's like your height.
So he's my height. He's Nick Castle's height. You know what I mean? He's the way Michael was portrayed originally. So I like that. So like you said, we are going to know the difference. And
well, no, but
the last time we seen Michael like that was in 1978.
We are going to know the difference. Yes, we'll know the difference from that perspective, but I also believe we're going to know it's Corey in the story as well. Sure. I don't think the story is going to, like, I think the story is going to tell the audience, not the characters, not Allison, not Laurie, not Hawkins, not Barker, but the story, the way it's presented, we're going to watch Corey put on the mask. We're going to know it's Corey Cunningham. And therefore, is it a copycat killer then? Maybe in the eyes of the characters, maybe some of the characters don't know it's not Michael, but in the eyes of the audience watching the movie, I think we're going to know. We're going to be watching the downfall of this character, and we're going to see him put on the mask, and we're going to go, oh, because I think that's part of the story. The story is this kid that had this horrible experience that has a terrible run-in with the Shape and gets, for lack of a better word, possessed by whatever evil is inside the Shape. And then he starts his downfall. And if he's not taken care of, or if shit doesn't hit the fan, or if we don't take care of this kid, he could go on and start this. We need to, you know what I mean? I think that's part of the story. And so they're going to lean into that and let the audience know that. I don't think it's going to be a secret.
There's also a smart play here with Michael, and this could be me just overthinking it, is that they know he hasn't been captured, even though he's been MIA for 4 years.
Correct.
You know, so it's almost like a smart diversion that Michael may be intentionally doing. Like, you're looking over here while I'm going to come in through the back door and get you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Type scenario when you're not looking. I'm not saying that that's Michael's motive, but it may very well be. You know, maybe he knows, like, okay, this is, you know, let him do this while I'm doing it, or while he's doing it, I can do my thing, because they're not going to be looking for me. They're going to be looking for him, you know? So it's a diversion that Michael could be doing so that he can do his thing, because he knows the town's going to be looking for him. Yeah, it could be. I can overthink. Yeah. No, it could be. But it's interesting, you know, and watching the trailer, like I said yesterday, I when I first watched it, I was like, meh, you know, and I think it's because I'm just feeling fatigued. I'm just like, oh God, here we go again. Dun, 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 you know, and listen, I'm a Halloween fan. I'm not trying to, I'm poking fun at myself too, Dave right? There's just, I know it's going to be out there. Oh, fucking McRae, so arrogant. I'm going to put it on Reddit. Do they really do that?
Yeah. I got a message from was it a couple of months ago? Somebody sent me a message. Are you
serious?
Yes, somebody sent me a message with a link. I'm not on Reddit. I've never been on Reddit. I don't know how. I guess it's just
I don't know what it is. Is it like a chat forum or something?
Yeah, it's a forum or whatever, and you post stuff on there or whatever it is. But I'm not on there. I've never been on there. Well, I've been on there now in terms of seeing what's been said about me. But before that, I've never been on there. I don't have a profile or an account or whatever the hell you need. But anyway, but I know it's very popular, and it's very popular for movie leaks and all sorts of stuff. So somebody about 2 months ago sent me a link, and thankfully you don't have to have an account to be able to read the shit that's on there. You do, I think, to, you know, respond or whatever. But anyway, so there's all these like posts about, you know, what do you think of Dave McRae? I fucking hate Dave McRae. He's such a piece of shit. He's arrogant. And I'm reading this and I'm just laughing. I'm just like, wow, I'm living rent free in so many people's heads. Like, what the hell, dude? And I'm just reading, and then some people are like, oh, Dave's awesome, man. It's great. But then you have people like, no, I can't fucking stand him. And then there's this one guy like 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't even know this was up there. This is like 2 or 3 years old. But this isn't about Halloween. I think it was one of the Star Wars videos I did or something. Wrote a whole thing about why he unsubscribed from me. It's like this long diatribe of why I don't Dave McRae, Dave McRae, and I'm just like, holy fuck, this is great. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm on Reddit. I'm like, this is amazing. So I just found it funny. But anyway, yeah, no, there's lots of people that, and I'm sure they're seeing this now going, oh, I'm gonna take the Reddit. Did you see the Two Dudes episode where he made fun of us? Yeah, well, I mean, fuck, guys, get a life.
Funny that somebody like took the time out to talk shit about you on a forum.
I know. I'm like, what the hell? Now, to be fair, there were some nice things that were said about me as well, and there were people saying, "No, I like him." But still, yeah, it's crazy.
Took time out of their day because you're that important to them.
That important to them, apparently.
And you are. You can't deny the fact that if this person's watching and if you're the one who did it, Dave is that important for you that you took time out of your day to whatever you did on this forum and type up, whatever you did to say this publicly. It's like,
and the themes, the theme, and we'll get back to the show here in a second. But the theme that I
like
noticed,
some Corey shit right there.
It is.
Right?
Maybe they've been possessed by Michael. I don't know. But the themes that I've noticed, or the pattern that I noticed over across several posts, was the same sort of thing. Now maybe it's from the same people. I should have looked more closely at their names, but arrogant, pretentious, douchebag, and this all tells, they just don't like the way I'm coming across. Like they don't like the way I'm making them feel because I'm, blunt and I'm going to be honest with you. It's just so they just don't like how I'm saying things. You know what I mean? Because I say things. Well, you sound arrogant when you say that. When you're so forceful and all this kind. I'm just like, stop that nonsense. Go home, child. Stop. Get off Reddit and go smoke a doobie or something. It's just funny. I just find it funny because I had no idea. I mean, some posts were on there were like 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, this has been on here for 3 years. I didn't even know. It's amazing. Well, I'm actually quite flattered.
I get where you're coming from, because that's a big part. Like, look, it's not like I came to this decision overnight to dump Instagram entirely. This has been manifesting for a couple years. You know what I mean? It's dealing with the people stealing my shit. It's dealing with the trolls on Instagram and stuff like that. When I have a Facebook page now that's a private account, again, I'm keeping myself within a reasonable, that's why I got the 2018 mask, because now I don't have to worry about set designs and setting things in 1978. I can set it in 2018 and just go into any old house today.
Yeah. Of course.
You know what I mean? So that's the whole thought process behind that. So that it'll look like a modern, but it'll still have my stylized, photo look. And a part of me missed doing that, you know what I mean? But I just, I get where you're coming from. So I was just like, all I want to do, because I'm even going to do videos again on Facebook, like what I used to do back in the day on YouTube, the type of horror stuff and the fun videos. Once, probably somewhere around 2020.
You got to make it fun. The second you're not having fun,
that's it. You know, and that's all I want to do. I want to have fun with it. I want to have fun with the community. Just laugh. I made a stupid video today wearing the Myers mask when I was DJing a mix set.
I saw that. That was really funny.
That kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
of course.
Stupid shit like that. We can all laugh and just have a fucking good time, because that's what social media should be about, and that's what this community should be about.
100%.
100%. People
and like I've said,
foaming at the lips in rage towards you. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And like I've said 1,000 times to people, take me seriously, but don't take me too seriously. I'm being theatrical. I'm a performer. I'm an actor. I was doing this long before I was on YouTube. So I just brought my personality and who I've always been for my entire life onto YouTube. And so, don't misinterpret the way that I am or how I speak or how, blunt I am or theatrical I am or whatever. I'm just having fun and messing around. Calm the fuck down. Jesus, people. I gotta go to Reddit. Hey, guys, what do you think of this Dave McRae? Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. I love it.
That's why I give people like you, Cody, Wham, all these guys credit for.
I'm sure they're on there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, no, but I mean, for sticking it out on YouTube, you know what I mean? And just grinding through it and just, putting it. See, unfortunately for me, my personality, it's just not meant for the YouTube platform, because if you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come right back at you. Okay?
Right.
That's just my personality. Unfortunately, I kind of like Peter Griffin. I don't have a filter. You know what I mean? It's gonna come right out. Yeah, right. I was gonna try to do that. I'm like, but I can't do Peter's voice.
I got you.
But and I realized that, and you do need to have a certain, like what you have, you've got a poise about yourself. The guys over at Wham and Cody, that you guys have a certain poise that you can dust it off your shoulders, not worry about it, and move forward on with the video or
Well,
on to your next thing. You know what I mean? Whereas I couldn't do that. I just,
yeah, no. A big part of it is having thick skin, and perspective, right? Like you sit there and you think to yourself, okay, well, I'm on here. I'm not just putting my voice out there. I'm putting my face out there. I've done like 1,200 videos and 650 live streams and, however many, I all for free. Everybody's consuming this for free, unless you're on my Patreon and you want to, enjoy some more intimate videos, that we do in terms of the size of the audience, right? But in terms of all these videos, these shows that we do it for free. We take our time, we do all this kind of stuff. Do you really think I give a fuck what some nobody I don't even know about goes on some form I'm not even a part of? I don't like Dave McRae. Okay, well, you're allowed not to like me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. I'm Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. I hate Dave McRae. I don't care. I mean, okay.
You know what's funny is that I know for a fact
somebody's got to dub that
some of these individuals who have gone at us, both of us on here, over the Halloween topic specifically, I know for a fact, I'm almost positive that if we were face to face with each other, hanging out at a Starbucks or at a pizza shop, we'd be we might disagree, but we wouldn't be getting so hostile with each other. Yeah. We'd be like, we'd have our point of view and then fucking shout out a fucking large pizza, what I mean? Like,
and the reason is because the internet, especially when you're typing, because there's no tone, right? I mean, that's why we've learned to put LOL or wink just in case somebody doesn't get it and it goes over their heads. I can't tell you how many posts I've made where people are like, you serious, Clark? And I'm like, no, I'm not serious. I'm making a joke. No, of course I didn't eat 5 million bananas, or whatever the case is. But if I don't put an LOL or a wink or a ... people go, I mean, most people get it. Most people do. But there is a portion of people out there that I don't know if it's a generation thing or what, but being on YouTube and being part of social media has really been quite the experience. And like I said, I'm speaking generally.
The Reddit right now, and they say they hate that they said that you use the term nuance too often. Nuance.
Oh, yeah, I read that.
Well, that's his word. His word is nuance. And
no, but do you want to know why?
Actually,
do you want to know why?
I didn't know what avant-garde was until I started doing this show.
This person here probably doesn't know what the word nuance means, because if they did, they'd know that, yeah, Dave's right. There's no nuance online anymore. Everybody's taking everything literally. What, you literally? You literally? No, I don't. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the Halloween Ends trailer. This trailer I liked. I liked this trailer, but it took me a few views. It took me a few views to get there. Probably about 4 or 5, and then I was like, okay, I like this. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm really hoping I can walk out of the theater and be like, yeah, okay, maybe not what I would have done, but they didn't insult the intelligence of Halloween and horror fans. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. It's like, and I think it's getting a general sort of buzz from everybody. I haven't heard anybody, you always got your guy, it's fucking shit. The whole trilogy shit. Hey, David Gordon Green, it's dog shit. Everything's shit. Fucking shit. It's bullshit. You get those people. But generally, most people, I think, are satisfied with the trailer. It's in terms of trailers go, it's well done. It's well cut. It's well put together. It's got good energy to it. Doesn't give anything away. Well, I mean, if you know what's going on, it gives a lot away, I guess. But if you don't know what's going on, if you're an average movie fan, it's fine. I'm just now at a point where, how do you think they're going to end it? What do you think the actual end is going to be? Because here's one thing that has surprised me. And again, we have to remember that a lot of these trailers at the trailer houses are cut by people that are not necessarily Halloween fans. And the studios have to appeal to a general movie-going audience. They can't just make...
They're cutting a trailer.
They're cutting their trailer.
Like 15 a day.
100%. They can't be too inside baseball. So, but however, if you are a major Halloween fan, you pick up on things like, oh, they're showing a lot of what it looks like the aftermath of the big battle, and Laurie's alive. So it almost feels like they've given it away that Laurie wins, because we see her. And even in the BTS B-roll that they, released, we see her kind of at what looks like sort of at the end of the movie with all the police cars around, and she's got blood all over her, and she's like the survivor, which totally makes sense. I mean, I understand why you might have her survive, but you've kind of revealed that in the trailer. So now It makes me think, well, how does Michael die? What is the conclusive? Because it can't be... It's got to be something we've never seen before, right? He can't burn to death. We've seen that. He can't have his head chopped off, because everyone's going to go, but unless
H2O.
unless you demask him, you take off his, demask, I'm all technical. Unless you take off his mask and we see his face. Now, we as the audience don't necessarily have to see his face, but it's very clear. It's communicated very clearly to the audience that the characters are looking at the face of Michael Myers, right? And maybe you kind of see the cusp of that injured eye from 1978. It's very clear that it's Michael. And then they chop off his head. And it's like, okay, well, that's clearly maybe. But outside of that, what are they going to do? I mean, I joke around and I say maybe they stick a piece of, they attach him with all sorts of explosives and they blow him up. But I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, what else can you do? What do you think they're going to do here that we walk away going, oh yeah, no, that really is, that's it. Because even, I forget if it was Carpenter or Blum or Green or Curtis, one of them months ago, I don't think they've said it recently, but I remember a long time ago, one of them said, somebody said, no, this is final. Like it will be, yes, it will be clear to you once you've seen the movie, oh, this is at least the end of this trilogy. It's the end of this thing. You know what I mean? So what do you think? They shoot him into space? I mean,
maybe, I mean, it's tough because you've killed him in so many different ways throughout the history of this franchise. Like you said, 2 ends with him burning, and 4 he's shot to death down a mine shaft. 5, well,
he just disappears.
He just disappears with the Man in Black and his people.
Same with 6.
Same with 6.
And if you watch the producer's cut, he got naked and put on the trench coat and fedora, and then just walked off into the distance.
He walked out like Bogart at the end of Casablanca.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Whatever. But, and then, of course, obviously, H2. H2O, unfortunately, it was the best ending until Resurrection. It was a definitive ending. It was, okay, decapitated. He's done. And then, of course, the whole faking and just whatever. But,
and then at the end of 18, he was...
How does he get killed at the end of Resurrection? Oh, he's on fire again, right?
He's on fire again, and then his eyes open on the operating table. Well, not the operating table, but the thing, that's so bad.
Rob Zombie's pretty much whatever.
Well, he's killed at the end of 2. I mean, that's...
Yeah. I mean, 2, at the end of 2, that's pretty definitive.
Mm-hmm.
And so the end of 18, he's in the fire, he escapes. I to this day, probably my favorite kill sequence in this franchise is the fucking firefighters. I just love that. Like,
it's well it's well done.
That shot is just like, man, that's just badass. Like I was like, why can I not have the budget to pull that off on a photo shoot? Lifting a fucking firefighter up in the air, like that would be fucking awesome to recreate.
You could do it. You could do it because then you would just have to. You could have him on a chair.
I gotta have someone
or something, and then Photoshop the chair out.
Yeah, or I could Photoshop a crowbar right into the guy. That's not that hard. And I would have to have him. I'd have to shoot it silhouette the way they did it in the movie, so that you don't see it, and then I could probably get away with it if I did it like that.
I think.
But, and how did he die at the end of Kills? Oh, he didn't die. He walked away.
He stood there staring ominously at the camera.
He killed Karen. Thank you, and that was it. So.
The world is a nice and loving place. I think
her as an actress, I really do. I'm not a fan of hers.
I think
I mean, you go full Rambo and just like shoot the shit out of him. I mean,
Gotcha.
You know, I
I'm
mean,
going to be honest. I think it's got to be something pretty dramatic. Well, what is very final? I mean,
blows up.
It looks. I was just going to say, it looks like in one of the
like Jason 9, Jason Goes to Hell, where they blow Jason up. They do the same thing.
Listen, I know it sounds corny, but in one of the TV spots, it almost looked like Laurie was about to stab him in the face. So it wouldn't surprise. I don't know if maybe she's about to, and then he moves and she hits the counter. Who knows? But if she does stab him in the face, I mean, that could be quite gruesome and intense,
like
and maybe
a headshot, like a definitive headshot,
something like that. And then maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe he is blown up somehow. Not corny, but it's very clear that, wow, like he's blown up and his limbs are all over the place or something. And because
gets COVID.
What gets COVID? He's in the hospital. But here's the thing is that because Michael Myers is a human being, you can kill him. This isn't Jason. This isn't Freddy, right? You can eliminate Michael. It might be more difficult to do, but if you actually were like in the rules, again, the original Halloween is the only one that's canon. Let me say that again. The original Halloween is the only one that's canon. So it doesn't matter. But in Halloween 5, it doesn't matter. They're not canon. So the rules that have been laid out for this iteration of Michael is very clear. Yet he has a supernatural element, but he's clearly a human being, and it's unknowable. That's a weird and creepy, what is this? But in this universe that they've laid out, in the Halloween universe as we know it right now with these 4 films, or soon to be 4 films, it's very clear to me that I think if you were to decapitate him and you literally knew it was Michael Myers, not like an H2O where you thought it was, you literally knew it was Michael. It's very clear. This is Michael Myers. It is. And his head was removed from his body. I think that's it. Like, I think that, like, this isn't, again, you cannot come back from that. You can't make another one go, well, actually, it was his twin brother. I mean, no. This is clearly, this is Michael. And if you did remove his head or any of his limbs, his heart fucking stops. It's done. It's over because of the rules of this universe. This isn't like Jason, where by the time, you get to part 9 and he goes to, and he's blown up, and then they add, they're not cut. This character is not cut from the same cloth of storytelling. Now, that doesn't mean it couldn't be, and you couldn't drag it on for 5 or 6 more films and turn it into some weird fucking thing. But as we know it, I know he took the shots point blank range. I know he was, I get all that. I get all that. But in terms of actually having his head removed from his neck, knowing it's actually him, or his body exploding, or something like that, or even actually burning. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, because even though some of or all the films where they do that are not canon anymore, they did try to burn him at the end of 18, and it's still, the whole him on fire and the burning and all that is still in audiences' minds. So even though it's not canon, so I don't think they're going to do that, but that is something that would kill him, because that's why John Carpenter did that at the end of 2. It was to kill Michael. And had Season of the Witch been a success, you wouldn't have got another Michael Myers movie ever. So the only reason why they went back to Michael was not because he actually didn't die at the end of 2. No, he did. He burned to death. It was because Season of the Witch was a catastrophic, box office failure. So, again, with the rules laid out as we know them, I think it is very possible that you could do that. But I don't think they're going to do that because of what is already in the pop culture zeitgeist.
That's why I feel, and I mentioned this last week, I think, with regards to the mob scene at the end of Kills, I felt like that's a missed opportunity that's how they should have killed him off in this, because there's a bit of a symbolism there where I mentioned how Frankenstein's monster and what happens at the end of Frankenstein with the village people, rally around and they kill the monster at the end. The way I would have done it is if I was sitting there in Blumhouse, I would have said, I wouldn't shoot this for kills, for starters. That's what I would have told him, because you've written a really good ending. I would have written it to where maybe the mob wasn't quite as big, but it was big enough to take him, but he's going down swinging. You know what I mean? He's taking a few people in, you know, so that it's not just, I like the way they filmed it, but I didn't like the way it was a Hitchcockian stylized look to that scene, you know, with some of the, like when Tommy's coming in with the bat, you know, and some of the close-ups of Michael. You know, I would have probably filmed it a little bit different. And like I said, I wouldn't have as big of mob, maybe a little bit smaller, but like I said, enough to take him out, but also enough for Michael to take a few people out. So it really has a nice dramatic ending. And then that's it. That was their perfect exit. You know, the town wins, the town kills the boogeyman, end of story. Now it's like, I don't know, like, how, you know, like, what do you do? Because that would have been an original ending, you know, even though it's the symbolism of Frankenstein. You know, it would have been original in this, you killed the boogeyman, you killed the monster. But I guess if I had to guess, like you said, with her sitting in the cop, you know, looking like she just, you know, went 10 rounds with, you know, Muhammad Ali, they probably want it to be Laurie to kill him off. I get it. You know, whatever. You know, it is what it is. I hope they shock us and it's Allison who gets the final blow. You know what I mean? Saves her grandma, you know, type scenario.
I wish they had the balls to pull the trigger that both of them die together, like in my sequel concept. I mean, you
too, you know,
you hear Laurie say that in, you know, the TV spot and in the trailer, you hear her go, maybe the only way to kill him is for me to die too. Yeah. Or something. And it's like that. Yeah, maybe it is, you know, that's why I put that in my sequel concept 3 years ago, was because I was thinking about the, you know, the arc and sort of it ends like she's kind of maybe she needs to, and you don't have to explain why. It's philosophical. It's not knowable. It's for whatever reason, and how that happens, who knows? But I mean, if this is just going to be Laurie, I don't know. Man, these movies, man. I don't know. But
it's the hardest thing, you know, with anything is the ending. It really is. You know, it's executing the ending to where everyone is going to. Stranger Things is going to run up against that problem. How do you end that? You know what I mean? We know it's coming to an end, but you know, you've had this great show for 4 seasons, you know, and now we know it's going to come to an end. The hardest thing is giving you that nice bookend to it, and whatnot. I don't think Cobra Kai will have that same problem. I think I kind of can pretty much guess where this is going, how that's going to end, and it's going to end on a good note, and they're going to land the plane nicely, and everything will be good. This with Halloween, it's just, you're not going to please everyone. We already know that. There's going to be people who didn't. I mean, look, not a lot of people liked kills. Some people did, some people didn't, you know. I got a feeling this is going to have that same effect, because you can't please everybody today. That's just the and fans.
Fans.
The way it is.
You're gonna have some fans that are gonna like it, and a lot of fans that aren't gonna like it. I mean, Halloween fans can be crazy, man. You know, and again, I don't say this to anybody personally, but having done this now for 5 years, I can tell you, I've had private conversations with other channels and prominent people in the community and in the Halloween community, and yeah, there is a general agreement that some Halloween fans can be fucking loony, you know, in the sense of just so obsessed and crazy, and but then you get, you know, it's like, I guess it's like that in a lot of fan communities. I don't know. I'm not a part of a lot of fan communities. I mean, I'm not neck deep in a lot of the things that a lot of people seem to be. All power to you. So it was quite the experience when I saw and I lump myself in there too. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm better than you. Watch that. It's going to go on Reddit. They said this arrogant. I kind of sounded like Bill Cosby. Oh, just don't want to button bops.
But I mean, they could pull out a 4 too. I mean, it could be all the cops that blast him. You know what I mean? Like,
it could be that.
He's in the street, he's getting blasted, and then maybe a headshot. You know what I mean? They go up close to him and bring him.
And this is the thing, and this is where the supernatural thing comes in. But he's supernatural. How he took shots, but it doesn't mean he can't die. We're going back to the original Halloween. There should never, look, I'm just gonna say it. There should never have been a fucking sequel. There should never have been a sequel, or they should never have continued. Mustafa Akkad, you damn greedy little bastard. And I say that with affection because
the problem with that is we probably wouldn't be sitting right now having a conversation.
And maybe it would be for the better. Maybe no, I don't mean not you and I being friends. I just mean that, you know what I mean. This merry-go-round that we're on. I'm just simply saying that you know, it's so hard, and here's why it's hard, and here's why I love the community and I hate the community. I don't hate the community. Again, I'm being dramatic for effect. The frustrating thing about the community and what I love about being a part of the community is that, you know, these three movies are based on the original intent of the character. And then they do things that are kind of like, well, hang on a sec here, but they haven't done anything. Well, is he supernatural? Is he not supernatural? Well, yeah, it's tricky because it's like, again, it's neither or. He's not all human and he's not all supernatural. That was the intent. You know, he is a human. He's a guy. He was born. He came out of his mother's vagina. He was, you know, he's not some zombie. I mean, he's not, you know, he's not some dream demon. I mean, he's just a regular kid. Well, but people, I think we live in a world where people really need, they not everybody, but there's a lot of people that need to be able to define it. It's too frustrating not knowing.
I've got it.
And
I know how it's going to end.
For me, I get it. Like when somebody says, when Carpenter said he's human with a supernatural element, that's all I needed to know. Like literally that's all I needed to know. And I never needed, I didn't feel I needed to figure out what that was, or, well, that doesn't make any sense, or, well, how can he take this, but he can't do that, or how come he can do this, but he can't do that, but he can take this, but he can't. No, I get it. I get what it means. And that's what these new films have sort of followed. So yes, I agree. Being shot, you know, point blank range during the, you know, the end brawl at Kills is kind of shocking. And then you wonder, well, how can he, you know, but then he's not, but how can he, that's the thing. You going, but how can he is the point. That's the point. And then people, you've said this, Tony, you've talked about this too, is that we take things so literally and we need everything to be so real life. Do you know what I mean? And I think It sort of removes the romanticism of it being a movie. We have to suspend our disbelief.
Nobody could take, if you get stabbed in the neck, if it misses and there's a little millimeter towards the jugular.
Guys, it's a movie. It's a movie. It's just there to tell you, ooh, that's weird. You know what I mean? All these things that happened to Michael that you think he couldn't survive, a lot of them you can survive. You can survive a knitting needle to the neck. You can survive, you know, stab to the gut. You can survive falling down off the balcony. You can survive taking shots. But then people like to take it further and go, but then how can he's not getting medical attention. How can he? Weird, isn't it? But that doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. But I need to know. No, you don't. And that's the point. And that's the whole point, is that that's what keeps us coming back for more. That's what keeps us coming back, because we're like, well, so what? I don't get this. This looks strange. It doesn't, because he's not Jason. He's not Freddy. So where is he? Where does he fit? And we as human beings need to figure out where he fits. We need to be able to fit him somewhere in a category and put a label on him and go, he's this. That's what he is. And we can't do it because of the brilliance of the way that the character was written in the first movie. That's the whole point. And that's why it works. And so every time I say, like, unless it's something really ridiculous, like his head gets cut off and then all of a sudden it rolls back towards his body and reattaches. Okay, now we've jumped 5,000 sharks and it's like, what are we doing? But being shot or stabbed and surviving, yeah, how does he do it? I don't know. And that's what keeps us coming back. Anyway, rant done.
So I know how it's going to end.
Okay.
They're going to be battling Laurie and Michael, which, by the way, Val is the girl. I just posted a Halloween picture before we went live. It's my like teaser picture for this next series of photos that I'm working on and going to share on Facebook. It's a really cool shot. I've got her looking up at Michael. Michael got
very
the
nice
tilt going on. It's kind of like a promo shot to the series,
right?
Photos. So I said to her, I was like, "Hey, would you mind being tossed over a kitchen counter?" She said, "No, I'll do it." I'm like, cool, because I want to recreate that shot of Lori getting tossed over the
nice.
kitchen island. So anyways, that's the ending, right? They're fighting with each other. They end up tumbling out into the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Cops pull up, but then all of a sudden, as the cops get out of the car, a fucking classic black Charger comes cruising in, slams on the brakes. Michael sees it. He gets up, gets into the passenger seat. Camera zooms in. You see this head pop out and says, "I got family." Takes off, and it's Dom Toretto. And as he's taking off, there's a girl walking on the sidewalk that says, "Hey, jerk, speed kills."
Nice.
End of story.
End of story. Roll credits. Roll credits.
That's how it ends.
And
Dom
then
Toretto and Michael Myers are siblings.
And then there's an end credit scene. No, there's a mid credit scene of Michael in a bathtub. It's only 4 seconds long, but he's washing his back, and then it just goes to the rest of the What? What was that? Some weird. Was that supposed to be in there? I don't know. No, but it's like I guess it's because I'm somebody. And listen, again, for those of you that might be new, for those of you that might be about to take to Reddit and call me, I'm just speaking passionately. If you disagree with me, that's fair. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to feel the way you're feeling. I'm just talking from my passionate Halloween fan perspective. But I do find it interesting how there's a lot of people that I think why so many people spend so much time on it and ask so many questions, even if they don't realize it consciously, is I think there's a lot of people, and I'm not, excluded from this, but certainly I think I am when it comes to Myers, not being able to define Myers is a real Achilles heel for a lot of Halloween fans. It's so, maybe not Achilles heel is the right term, but it's frustrating for some because then they try to connect dots where the dots were never meant to be connected. And they're sitting there and they're like a cop in the office with, the push pins and the bulletin board and the red string, and they're doing this. They go, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, that's because there is no answer. There literally is no answer. You're searching for an answer where one does not exist. Literally. And that's why it works. And I think, especially for modern audiences, it can be very frustrating because it seems, although I don't know, but it does seem like we need everything sort of explained to us. Whereas I come at it from the perspective, and I think you're kind of like this too, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely know I'm like this because I've talked about this on my channel, and my audience certainly knows I'm all about mood and atmosphere and mystique and mystery and all that. Like, I love, as long as it feels like, I
stole your phrase and quoted it the other day on
you
Facebook
did.
on the Freddy shoot, creating
you did.
The mood
I saw
and
that
atmosphere with the smoke. I'm like, Dave McRae.
You did. But
dude, you need to get shirts that just says mood and atmosphere.
I do. I need to get a tattoo that says that. I need to get a tattoo that says that. Yeah, I'll get on my ass cheek. Anyway, boom, boom. Good night, everybody. No, but but what I also like about mood and atmosphere, and what often comes with mood and atmosphere, is mystery and mystique, and I love movies that put me in the same position as the characters, so the characters don't know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on, so I feel like I'm one of the characters on this mystery. Whether it's like a great thriller like Prisoners, or a great whodunit, or some horror movie where there's a nice slow burn and it's kind of creepy and we're trying to figure this mystery out together, and it's like, oh my God, I love that stuff. I love not knowing and being able to fill in the blanks myself. And there's a lot of times I've watched a movie where it's done that, and then in the third act it kind of reveals everything, and you're like, oh, well, that sucked. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, that's the answer. Now, again, I'm not saying that you should never have answers and you should never come to a conclusion with your story. Of course not. Because you can also have movies that sort of ride that third act and end on kind of an uncertain note that are not very good because they didn't do a good job at keeping you engaged, or it didn't feel justified or properly motivated and all that kind of stuff. We've seen those, films too. But when you have things or themes or characters where it's very clear that it's just, there's something, I don't know. It's kind of, like I said, it's like watching those creepy videos at 2:00 in the morning, and seeing this. It's like that feeling you get. And like, imagine it's like watching those creepy videos at 2:00 in the morning and you're sitting there. Now imagine
I do that all the time. I love it.
You do. You love it. Now the feeling you get when you're watching it, it's like, ooh, this is weird. This is creepy. This is weird. Whether it's paranormal, whether it's somebody who's gone missing, maybe you're watching true crime, right? And there's like a 48-hour sort of like show where there's this person just disappeared. They don't know what happened to them, and they're trying to figure it out. And it's kind of creepy and whatever, right? And I mean, if it's true crime, hopefully they do find them. But I'm just saying, when you're telling stories like that, and then there's a reveal, and you're like, okay, and you don't feel that. Sometimes to be in a perpetual state of, I don't get it, what's going on, because it's a trick, it's an illusion. The story makes you think that you're on the cusp of finding out, but you never are, and you never will be. And that's it's cool. And sometimes people today just don't like that. They need,
it says he's super, it's section 5, it says he's supernatural.
He's neither or. He's both. And that's why it works. I don't know. Does that make sense? Am I just fucking...
It does.
Make sense? Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not fucking Reddit post.
Sticking to the, look, all things got to come to an end, and you want to end on a good note.
You do.
You don't want something to overstay its welcome.
Right.
You really don't. That's the thing, I think, that, with Halloween movies in the past, that's what happened. It overstayed its welcome, and you saw the results of that with, where the franchise ended up going when it did that. That's why, like I said a few moments ago with Cobra Kai, I was happy to hear that 6 is it. Like, this is, and that's good. Because,
did they announce that they're doing a 6 now?
Okay. Yeah, this is it. 6 will be the last one. But it was good because the way they did 5, I thought 5 should have, but then the stories that they told in 5, I'm like, all right, they've got enough for one more in the tank, but let's not push it past that. The stories have been great. They not only have they honored the original trilogy, but they've enhanced like part 2 and part 3 and the characters from those. Like they've elevated those 2 films that really weren't regarded. I mean, I love 2. It's a great movie. 3 is 3, but but that's just, that goes to good writing and just good, good storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear that they're like, all right, this is it. We're gonna bring the ship in and, call it a day. And I'm happy with that. Go out on a high note. Stranger Things, same thing. Look, we've had a nice run with it. It's going to suck to see it go, but at the same time, it's time to move on and, call it a day. And same thing with Halloween. Look, I'm always going to be, regardless, whatever they do, if it's in 5 years from now, like you said, the 2028 and at the 50th anniversary, if they decide they're going to do a new one, I'm going to be right there watching it.
Same.
It's not like I'm not going to not watch it. No, I'm
the same. And to be clear, I'm talking about, when I say it should never be revealed, I in my opinion, I'm talking about sort of, what is Michael Myers? What is he? Why is he doing this? What is this evil? Why is he so resilient? How can he take, 4 or 5 shots point blank? How can he just how did he survive in the sewers with those bullets? All that stuff should never be explained. However, he's also a human being. So I do think if you are going to end it, you've got to end it. And so there's got to be something in this film. And that's why I think, shy of blowing him up or clearly defining, I don't know what else would you do, because you don't want to, like, if I was the writer, in the writing room, I would say to the guys, I'd say, you know, if I was part of the team and they wanted my thoughts, we're all kind of, you know, shooting the shit and throwing shit on, you know, the board and stuff. I'd say, well, if nobody had said it yet, I would have been like, okay, well, if this is truly the end and we're not coming back, the rights are going back to, like, this is the end of this iteration, then the finale has to be final. Then we have to start jotting down shit on the board. What are ways that Michael can die if we make the choice for him to do it, or the choice that he dies? What are ways that he can die that doesn't leave the audience going, well, but he could? What are those ways, right? Walking off.
There's a part of me that almost would like, I know nobody would, you wouldn't like, nobody would like this.
It's a job at a 7-Eleven. I'd love it.
Well, no, it has a full circle moment where you see him on the ground dead. Okay. And they cut to a shot, maybe, you know, whatever. And then when Laurie and Hawkins maybe come back or something, he's gone. And then you cut to the theme song and you see all the places he's been, very, you know, kind of a throwback to the way the original film ending, and you hear him breathing, and then it just ends credit. I know nobody would sign up for it.
Well, and here's why I don't think it would work. Not because it's not a great, as you said, a bookend. It's actually really great. And there would probably be some people that would like it. The problem is we've already shown that he's come back. So for him to, like, that's why the ending of the first one works so well. If you never made another Halloween film, we would assume that he never came back and that he was never seen again. Well, who was he? Was he ever seen again? Well, wow, that's fucking weird. Yo, that's fucking weird. If there was just one movie, you could think that in your mind, and then it would become your headcanon. Wow, they just made a Halloween movie, and he was just gone. You know, it'd be one of those kind of films, right? And we've seen those kind of things before. Yeah. But we've shown that he's come back. We've shown it in Halloween 2. Oh, he was just around the corner. We've shown it in Halloween 4. Oh, he was in a coma. We've shown it, you know, in Halloween 18. He was locked up. So I think if he was just gone, people would go, okay.
Well, the point of it would be,
you know, but I get why you would want to do it.
Well, yeah, it's an homage to the original.
For sure, 100%.
And it's evil lives on. Evil can't die. You know,
right?
Right. He's always the boogie. You can't kill the boogeyman.
But
you know what I mean?
And I think that was done beautifully at the end of Halloween 4. The return of Michael Myers. Yeah. And that's
Jamie.
Yeah. Right. And that's why I've often said on this channel, Halloween 4 has one of the greatest endings in all of horror if you do not watch Halloween 5. If they never made Halloween 5 and Halloween 4 was the ending of the Halloween series as we know it, they never made another one. There was not 5, 6, H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombies, 18 Kills. Nope. Did not exist. 4 was the ending. It would be great because it brings it full circle. It delivers the message you're trying to deliver, which is evil never dies. You can't kill the boogeyman. It lives on, you know, and it lives on. Oh my God. And Loomis is going crazy. No, he was going to literally murder a 7-year-old child. He was going to murder the girl at the top of the stairs, but Meeker stepped in and stopped him. That's how fucking crazy. He doesn't want to go through that shit again. We don't know if the foster mom survived. We only know she survived because we watched 5, and it's clearly told to us that she didn't actually kill the mother, as far as I know anyway. But at that moment, we're thinking, holy shit, she just murdered her step or her foster mom, and the last thing we see is her at the top of the stairs. It's great. It's a different ending from 2. 2 is that sort of redemption, happy ending, although Laurie doesn't look happy in the ambulance. She's happy. It's a happier ending. The boogeyman is dead. It's burning. She's in the ambulance going off. She's probably going to get help. And, you know, it's great. But 4, oh my God. No way. There's the little kid. Dun, 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 dun. You know, so no way. Not again. No. Cut to black, roll credits. It won. Evil won. The problem is then you watch 5 and you go, you know, it's like, you know what I mean? So, but I agree with you. So I think if you want to deliver that, Michael has to die. We have to know that he's dead, but then maybe you pull a bit of a Friday the 13th 4. I know people in the chat room are going to be like, what? Dave just said Friday the 13th 4? Tony's going to like this because he knows that I like this. At the end of Friday 4, it's got one of the best endings out of the entire series because they actually went the distance to quote unquote kill Jason. The machete goes through his face. Okay, well, he's not coming back from that. His brain is, whatever, we assume. And then you have that one shot of little Corey Feldman hugging his sister, and he's hugging, and then he opens his eyes and looks at the camera, and there's just this weird look he gives the camera. And there's a freeze frame, roll credits, that's it. That clearly communicates to the audience, whoa, wait a minute. But maybe you never make another movie, right? If they do that here, the trick would be to never make another movie. But I think then it would communicate what you're saying, that evil lives on. Because it's clearly, maybe we see it in a little kid? I don't know. What do you think?
I think we got 2 weeks left until this fucking thing comes out.
Shut up, Dave. That's what I think. No, but it's interesting. It's an interesting topic. How they're going kill Myers.
Instead of a heart attack.
Maybe he just trips.
Trips and falls.
I
hope it doesn't. Look, okay, here's the thing. Have you ever gotten into the show Supernatural?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But I know the show you're talking about.
I think you should. I think you might appreciate it. It's a fun watch. I enjoy it. However, the main character, Jensen Ackles' character, Dean Winchester, I thought got such a chintzy way of going out at the end of the series. I was just like, really? And now keep in mind, I came into the Supernatural family as the show was coming to an end,
right?
Is when I got into, I binge watched it, and I was like, oh, this is fun, and monsters and shit, whatever. It's like Hardy Boys for horror fans.
Gotcha.
And they go through so much shit through this whole 15-year journey together, and I'm like, that's how he's gonna go out for real? Like, wait, what? Wait, what? Are you kidding me? So I just don't want that moment in this film. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that feeling of like, really? Like, this is how we're gonna do it.
Right. Well, same. And
like,
that's why I said I don't want a shot where his eyes open and that kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of people that have said, yourself included, and ordinarily I think I would be on board, but I think for the reasons that I just stated a few moments ago is why I kind of hope they don't do that. Like, in principle, I get the idea of him just suddenly not being there, but then I think, but he's not been there before and he's come back. I think it would leave audiences thinking that they've just left it on a cliffhanger for another one. And then the story will be really, when people see the movie, see, told you they were going to do another one. Like, I think it's I don't think you can do that anymore. I think we have to be definitive here, and we have to show that Michael is dead, that he's dead. That doesn't mean that evil won't live on in some sort of form, but the vessel that it was in, Michael Myers, is dead. But how do you do that without being cheesy? You bring in the fucking
it's the hardest
army?
thing to do is an ending. It's really when and an ending that you are going to stay committed to. Tom Cruise was talking about that here with the missions. Like the mission, these last two are, I still don't believe it, but maybe it is. I mean, he's pushing he's in his 60s,
62, yeah.
So
I mean,
maybe
well,
it is time. So but that's the hardest thing. Is coming to it's writing that ending and making sure your audience leaves there feeling like, yeah, man, I'm satisfied. I'm happy with it. And it's very rare to it's hard. Especially with something that you love, something that you enjoy, something that you've been on a journey with. We've been on this journey now for, I mean, really 8 years. I mean, yeah, 6 was when the movie came out, but there was the 2
4 years.
we were
4 years.
Well, no, the 2 years beforehand, 2016 leading into 2018.
Right.
I'm saying I'm saying the journey that we've just been on this recent run.
Yes, because it was announced in 2016, I think. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So from 2016 to now, we've all been on this journey here. Yeah. I think we all want to feel like when we're done watching it, like, all right, they landed smoothly.
Totally.
Right.
And I think the way to do that, like, you're not going to please everybody. You're not.
No.
But even those that don't like the ending or maybe the direction, I think will be satisfied, or maybe not satisfied, content. I think content is more the right word. As you said, like, okay, I didn't love it, but okay. As long as they just don't do something that's really weird and insult the intelligence of Halloween fans, where it's just like, why are they doing this? As long as they don't do that or jump the shark, I think even if you don't like it, you're not crazy on it, you may walk away going, okay. That's kind of how I felt about The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, for me, and this is just my opinion, because I know opinions vary greatly in the Star Wars fandom. But I was a big fan of The Force Awakens. I do not like The Last Jedi at all. And The Rise of Skywalker, which a lot of fans seem to hate more than The Last Jedi, which is strange to me, because I think it's a far better, more fun movie to watch than that piece of crap. But anyway,
sure.
But I think The Rise of Skywalker, I knew, and I have video evidence of this because it's on my channel a month before The Rise of Skywalker came out. I said, if I can watch it's not going to be what it's going to be. I said, it will not be what it should be, because The Last Jedi was such a downturn and such an avant-garde twist that there's only so much JJ can do in the very short amount of time he has. One movie, 2 hours. So how is he going to, complete this film when the first 2 films in the trilogy feel like 2 first acts? Really, he needed like an extra 2 films. But anyway, and this is my opinion. But I said, if you think The Rise of Skywalker is going to be this monumental, it's not. And it was never going to be, because The Last Jedi had fucked everything up, had fucked the trajectory and the momentum up. However, I said, if JJ can deliver an entertaining film that doesn't, now, depending on who you are, you could absolutely think that it insults the intelligence of fans all over the world. I know that Rey being a Palpatine was certainly not, met by applause from everybody. I loved it. But I walked away from The Rise of Skywalker going,
I can't even remember it now. I was trying to remember the ending. I can't even remember.
Well, the ending is yeah, but I
only watched it once, so I can't. It's been a minute.
I walked away from the movie going, okay. I was like, yeah, okay. I don't think it's the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, but under the circumstances, I walked away going,
sure.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it was, JJ, say what you want about it, but he delivers good popcorn, entertaining films. And I think The Force Awakens was a terrific throwback and reintroducing Star Wars again to, yes, it was familiar, sure, but it was what it needed to be. So when I watched The Rise of Skywalker, I think, well, you can literally leapfrog over The Last Jedi and just go to The Rise of Skywalker, and it feels more like a direct sequel to The Force Awakens, and why wouldn't it? It's the same guy. But anyway, so that's kind of, I don't know if that's the best example, but that's kind of how I'm thinking with this. I was lukewarm on 18. I like 18 much better now that I've seen Kills. Not a big fan of Kills at all. So I'm kind of finding myself in the same position. I don't dislike Kills as much as I dislike The Last Jedi, but it's a similar position. So I'm like, okay, well, here I am. Just don't insult me, and again, that can be very subjective, but that's what I'm hoping for at the end of the day, is I walk away going, okay, sure. All right. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, maybe I, didn't like that or that, but okay. All right. Now we can sort of move on. But if it's something crazy, like, him getting naked and changing outfits or walking off like Bogart into the shadows, I mean, get the fuck out of here. Please just not do this. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. Should we jump over to the chat room?
Yeah. Well, really quick.
Or anything else you want to say? Yeah.
Well, no, not regards to Halloween.
Oh.
I told people I promised I would do, if you don't mind. I'll try to
Sing?
keep this under yeah.
La.
No, under a minute. My thoughts on Rob Zombie's Munsters.
Yeah, take it away. I didn't watch it.
I'm gonna make it really quick. I'm not gonna do spoilers. But I will say this: his grandpa, spot on. Great job. Gave me Al Lewis vibes without trying to mimic Al Lewis.
I've heard
a suggestion. About 20 minutes in, I made the decision to pause the film, and I dropped the saturation on my television and flipped it to black and white. Changed everything and totally gave me a really good Munsters old school vibe that made it at least more enjoyable to watch. So I started from the beginning. I would just drop it. If you have the option on your menu on your television, drop the saturation down, do it, get it to black and white. I can't hate on the guy who played Herman, because when he was by himself or when he had his moments with Grandpa, he was really good. When he was on screen with Sherry, that's a whole other story, because that girl cannot act. It was painful to watch for a 2 hour. I get it. He loves his woman and he stands by his woman. You can love your woman
in other ways.
I understand, but you went so far into your production and you did such a great job of bringing that. Like, if you're a Munsters fan like myself, you know the aesthetic look, you know the vibe, you know the campiness, you know the tone of what the Munsters is. He hit it. He did that. He nailed it. He didn't give us his Rob Zombie typical white trash shit. The writing was a little bit weak, but then again, here's the thing: I will give him a pass on when it comes to the Munsters, because the Munsters is a family show. It's not intended to be an intellectually written, dialogue, because kids are supposed to watch it. Kids are supposed to understand it. That's what it's intended for family to enjoy and watch. So there is a simplicity to it. Dude, oh my God, I was getting so irritated watching her on screen, because I'm like, she can't fucking act.
Right.
Like, look, I'll say this for Sherry Moon. I'll give her credit where credit is due. If I'm making a movie about white trailer trash people, I'm going to call her first, because she's totally going to deliver for me in the performance.
Isn't that something on your resume?
I'm really good at white trailer trash parts.
She is. I mean, if like Baby, she did a great job. I thought she was great in Devil's Rejects in House of a Thousand Corpse, as that type character. But oh man, dude, it was just like, at times I felt like she was trying to be like Yvonne DiCarlo, who played Lily originally. But then at other times, I didn't know what the fuck she was doing. I didn't know where she was going with it. I didn't, so that's why I'm saying I can't judge the guy who played Herman, because he was really good when she wasn't on screen, but when he had to share his screen time with her, it really ruined the performance, because she was killing the scene. It's just unfortunate that he didn't allow himself to say, you know what, this time around, I'm going to find another leading lady. Sorry. Someone who can really hold the role down.
But what if she said, okay, well, you're not getting any fucking blowjobs for the rest of your life then?
She's got to be like amazing in bed, because I just can't think of like, why would you not look for a better leading woman to play this part? Because everything else even he had some side characters that I thought like were really good. Like, they were enjoyable. They were fun to watch. But you've got your lead here who's just destroying your scenes and making it very difficult to get through and watch. Missed opportunity for not doing it in black and white. That's why I think if you watch this, desaturate your television if you have that option, and it should be on your menu and you should be able to do it, and watch it in black and white, because you will enjoy it, and you'll definitely get the nostalgia vibes of like, hey, it's the Munsters,
Right.
And then another missed opportunity for not at least there's two key characters from the original television series. Everyone knows it's not a spoiler. Everyone knows that they're not in this. But there was at least an opportunity at the very end that they could have brought one of the two in, that at least would have made it somewhat like, okay, the Munsters have arrived. Because it wasn't until the very end of the movie, where I felt like, you know, the way the actors were dressed, especially, that I felt like, okay, I'm finally watching the Munsters, you know, like I want, you know what I mean? Everything up until that point was just, I don't know. I was rooting for him, man. I really was. I wanted him to land this. I said, okay, we're going to go with Sherry Moon. I didn't think it was the best choice, and my gut instinct paid off.
Right.
It's unfortunate because I think if she was replaced with someone else, I think this would have been a decent flick. I really do. It just
fascinating to hear that she brought it down that badly. Well, I know it's out there now. You can watch it. What is it? Netflix?
Netflix.
Maybe I'll check it out. I know you can get it on Blu-ray too or whatever, but I'll be very...
If you got Netflix, save your money. You can watch it on Netflix.
Oh, and I'm going... Oh, for sure. I'm not going to buy it on Blu-ray. That'd be insane. All right, let's get to your Super Chats, ladies and germs. And let's see what we have here. The first one came in a little while ago, and it comes in from Cody Snyder, one of our great mods, sends in $5 and says, here's to October. Yes, October is just around the corner this Friday, I believe. This Friday?
That's right.
No,
Friday.
Saturday?
Sunday.
No, today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Hey, Sweet Tea, if you're watching us tonight, I hope you guys are safe there in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're in the chat or watching us, but I hope you and your family,
yes, everybody
taking good. Anyone who's watching us who's in Florida, I hope you guys.
Because
we're gonna get hit. We're gonna get hit with some of that on Friday and Saturday. Not like what Florida's gonna get.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are safe down there.
$2. Oh no, wait a minute. I moved. Not $2 Sam. That was from yesterday. 80s Tears sends in $5 and says, Tony especially will be happy to hear. Laurie's theme is going to be in Halloween Ends. I've had the soundtrack for about a month now, so I'm very sure. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not
I love
surprised.
That theme.
Yeah, it's a great theme.
Wasn't there a hint of it that we got in the 2018? Like
one, yes, somewhere. Yeah,
like a note or two.
Yep.
I kept saying that was the only fucking thing missing from this is that Laurie theme, you know, because it's such a great theme. It's a very subtle but very, very effective theme.
Yeah. King's Hockey sends in $5 and says, do you think it's possible that Ends takes from Halloween 5 where Corey takes care of Michael? No, I don't. And maybe takes his place? I do not. Till Michael gets the strength to come back? I do not. I think the last part of that, I think, is probably true. I think there's some sort of, I don't know. I mean, why Michael doesn't just, reappear himself and wreak havoc, I don't know. But again, it may not be fully explained. It might be done through the use of symbolism and cinematic language, where you'll have to interpret and pay attention to what's actually happening. You may not get somebody, turn to the camera and go, oh, by the way, this is what's happening here, So I think that maybe, I don't know, maybe Corey, maybe because Michael transferred his evil essence into Corey, he's connected to Michael somehow, and Corey killing makes Michael more powerful.
I don't want to do any transfer thing like we did with Jamie to Michael. I'd rather have...
I don't either, but I think that's what's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be said. It's going to be unsaid, like in part 4. I
would just rather have Corey be fucked up in the head and just be just someone who's obsessed with Michael and just someone who's just not all there.
Agreed. And maybe that's part of it.
Fucking like Ted Bundy, you know what I mean? Smooth talker gets Allison.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe Corey does have those tendencies, but the evil just, speeds it up. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be done tastefully, like in 4. Everybody points to the moment when Jamie picks up, her uncle's hand. Oh, that must be the moment. But nowhere in the movie does it say that's the moment. Nowhere in the movie does it ever say, unless there's some fucking, I can hear it now. But in the book, listen, the book is not canon. In the movie, if you watch the movie, unless I'm having a brain fart here, I don't think there's anywhere in the movie that says, oh, by the way, Michael transferred his evil essence into Jamie Lloyd, and that's why she went and killed. It doesn't say that. It doesn't. We all as fans just think, well, when did she have contact? Oh, well, she kneeled down beside him. Jamie, get away from him. And she picked up his hand, and then she lets it go. And so we go, okay, I guess that maybe something happened there. And clearly, through the use of, show, don't tell, they communicated to the audience, well, that maybe something did. That's a little, I'm not, whatever the case is, I don't know. But then you could also interpret it. Maybe he was unconscious and Jamie was the one that revived him, because immediately after her dropping his hand, he grabs a knife and sits back up. Maybe she healed him. I have no idea. But I think it's going to be done in that kind of way again. And I think we see it in the trailer, looking right into each other's eyes. And then that's it. And then we will be watching the movie forever going, I guess that must have been the moment. I don't think it's going to be explained when it happens. At least I hope not, Or maybe you'll get a line from Corey. I looked into his eyes. Oh, you don't need that.
I hope this kid's off his rocks and that's it. Simple.
I would totally go that way too. Jeffrey M sends in $5, says, why you trolling us Halloween fans? You know damn well you get 1 million Indiegogo and blow Halloween Ends out the water. Why not start Indiegogo? Well, Jeffrey, I just don't, first of all, the probability of raising $1 million on Indiegogo is literally zilch, for a Halloween film. If I raised $1 million on Indiegogo for a film I do not own, I would be shut down faster than you can say frog's fat ass. And also because I have no interest in doing a Halloween fan film. The last fan film I do, for the foreseeable future is It's Me, Billy, Chapter 2. That's it. As a filmmaker, I want to make original films as well. Fan films are great because you get to play in a sandbox. And if you take it seriously and you shoot it professionally, like what we did with Billy and what we're going to try and do with part 2, and deliver a real indie short, then they're great because you can use them as calling cards, portfolio pieces. You can show fans of horror, fans of Black Christmas or whatever the film is that you're doing. But no filmmaker wants to, I can't say that. I mean, maybe there's some out there that treat it as a hobby, but I would love to be able to make films that are original and that I can actually make money from and actually get paid to make and actually put out there in the world for you guys to see, whether it's on Netflix or Amazon or who knows what'll happen, right? But I mean, maybe it won't happen, but that's sort of, I can't do that with fan films. So you're right. If I did launch an Indiegogo to make a Halloween fan film on the same caliber of Billy, I'd probably raise a lot. I wouldn't raise $1 million, but I have no interest in doing it. The Halloween fan film is saturated, and I want to do Billy 2 because obviously it's an incomplete story and we want to deliver something. And it's, I say this with all due respect, the Halloween fan film, it's low-hanging fruit. Like there's a fan film for every fucking grain of sand on the, on the beach. Some are good, some are not, some are amateur, some are pretty, pro-ish, but at the end of the day, there's just so much. And I would much rather do I want to complete the story and deliver an epic conclusion to our film. But I understand your enthusiasm because you're not the first person to say it. But at the end of the day, my heart has to be in it. The interest has to be there. And right now it's just not.
You're right. There's a lot of truth behind that because, when I had been burnt out and I walked away from taking those pictures for a hot minute, there was no enthusiasm there. I had lost all enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It was like, it's done. Now that I'm sharing it on Facebook and the interaction with, the people who have started to follow me, as I've begun to start sharing these pictures, it's invigorated that fire again. And now I'm talking
because it's on your time, on your watch.
Right. It's on my time. I don't have to look, my real estate business now has sustained itself. I'm good. I don't need to go looking for, I shouldn't say it like that. That sounds too cocky, but I always am looking for work.
Reddit thread.
Tony said.
I know. No. But I mean, I'm getting the work. That's the point. You know, I'm finally, I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm good. So now I can do this. I can have fun. I can do it on my time. I can have fun with it with my friends again. And that's what it's intended for. I don't need to go beyond. I don't need to get into a full scale like movie, you know, or anything like that. And we can just have fun and share it. The point of doing this ultimately, even at the beginning, was to share it with people who would appreciate it and have fun with it. And that, and like you said, if your heart ain't in it, it'll show in the results. You know what I mean? You'll see the results and you'll be like, really?
Well, yeah, it's true.
Because your heart wasn't into it.
That's true. And another thing too is that, you know, not that this was a reason, but it is something to keep in mind, is that, you know, when I started the journey of Billy, most of my viewers already know this, but I wanted to make a real movie for the first time in my life. You know, a film that had professional production value with a professional crew and actors, and that you could watch and go, yeah, this is a legit short, you know, professional indie horror movie. And I wanted to deliver on that. So now I've set the bar for myself. So now I have to continue to, I don't have to, but obviously I would like to, because I'd like to have a career as, you know, I'm a voice actor, but I also wouldn't mind being paid to be a filmmaker too. So, but the problem is that with Halloween, like you have guys like Vincent DeSanti, who is taking it, who's sort of gone the same route. I mean, he's a filmmaker. He has his own production company, and he is delivering studio quality.
Is he the one you're working with on the Freddy movie?
No, that's Cecil Laird. Well,
I
Vince,
get them confused.
Vince is a producer on Dylan's New Nightmare, but he's not, I don't think he's anything beyond that as far as I know. Gotcha. But anyway, so what Vince has done, which is great, is he's also taken those steps to deliver. So when you watch Never Hike Alone or Never Hike in the Snow or the future Never Hike Alone 2, they're delivering professional studio quality.
I need to watch those. I've yet to watch those.
They're great. The problem is, for me, is that people have said, well, why can't you do the same thing with Halloween? You know, raise a ton of money, you know, hire the same crew that you shot, but like make it look like you did with Billy. The problem is that one of the reasons, not the only, and I don't want to speak for Vince, but as far as I know, one of the big reasons why he's allowed to go forward and do this kind of thing is, number one, he's not making any money off of it. So he raises money, but all the funds go into the production. It's not like he's selling tickets to go and see it. It's online for free. And also the rights holders for Friday the 13th have been surprisingly very lenient and positive and supportive of Vince. So that is a big plus on his side. Now, I'm sure there's a threshold. I'm sure there is a point where maybe they may be like, you know, but he's been able to do this, and he's actually had, I don't know if it was Victor Miller or one of them was very supportive of it, whatever. The Halloween crew and Malika Cod, not so much. Malika Cod well, I don't know if it's him specifically, but people have raised a bit of money to make Halloween fan films in the past that don't look anywhere near what Vince and I have done with our films and have been shut down. And so if I was to raise $100,000 and shoot a Halloween fan film with the crew that I shot Billy, you know, with our film would, if I made a trailer and I cut it, you would think it was our trailer would look like the Ends trailer in terms of production value. So there's no way they were going to let it slide. If they're shutting Halloween fan films down that are not even close to that, there's no way they're going to let us do that. Are you kidding me?
I love being able to take the pictures, man. You can't stop me from taking a photo.
It's true. Now, again, I don't know, but this is my guess. I
can't sell the photo.
I've never, sure, of course. So
wanted to make sure I threw that in there just in case of like,
right, exactly. So, but with Black Christmas, I love Black Christmas. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I say this with love. No one gives a fuck about Black Christmas. Okay. And I mean that in the big picture relative to Halloween. Black Christmas isn't a box office, juggernaut. It's not in the pop culture zeitgeist like a Freddy or a Jason or a Michael or you know what I mean? So it's relatively under the radar. It's we can do this and get it out there, and it's fun for us, and it's fun for Black Christmas fans, and we're able to deliver on a promise and deliver a film that some people have said is better than the 2 remakes. So, which is pretty cool, because we only had $64,000. I say only, I mean, it's a lot of money, but in the big picture, it's a no budget movie. So again, the point I'm making is that I appreciate people's enthusiasms, but it's not just a matter of raising money and doing it. Vince has been able to do what he's done without really any pushback, because there's, as far as I know, and he can correct me if I'm wrong if he ever sees this, but as far as I know, he has had some surprising relative support for it from people that could give him problems. So that's one of the reasons why he's been able to do it. Halloween, it's a bit of it. I mean, there's a lot of photos and videos, BTS stuff from 1978 that's not out there because of Malik and how sort of difficult I think he's been. Again, I don't know the man. It's just things I'm hearing, but I've heard a lot of people say it's not the same situation. So that's a big factor. There's no way I could do a Halloween fan film like Billy on that level and Malik be okay with it. There's just no way. I don't believe that at all. But that's my opinion based on what I know. All right, let me
moving on to the next
one. All right. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Andrew Stevens, one of our great mods, says, but Dave, I don't want Halloween to end. They will make another one after Friday the 13th new movie. I want Halloween forever. Haha, joking. Dude, there are some people that do, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, I hope people don't, and that's why I always say, take me seriously, but don't take me too seriously. I mean, I don't care if Halloween Resurrection is your favorite Halloween movie. You're welcome here. You're welcome on this channel. You're welcome in the chat room. You're welcome in the comments section, as long as you're not a dick, of course. You're welcome here. But just know that obviously I'm not a big fan of it, and a lot of our viewers are not a big fan of it. But it's okay. Like, to anybody out there who wants it to continue and wants just more and more, that's okay, man. That's okay.
Absolutely. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah, for sure. As long as you're not a dick.
That's it. Very simple. That was my one and only rule to when I was going to throw all my content on Facebook. Don't be a dick. It's going to be a good community, good conversations, good comments back and forth. You act like a dick, get out.
That's it. Red Spader 7 sends in $2 and says, preach it, Dave. Good luck and thanks. I guess what I was talking about, maybe the evil or something like that. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Jeffrey follows up with $2 and says, every question about Halloween Ends answer is in 1978. Every question about how Halloween Ends, I think, answers in the 1978 film. Maybe he's suggesting that he's
saying that everything about Halloween Ends, the movie, is answered in the original Halloween 1978 film.
Every question about that's, well, there's a kernel of truth to that if you want to look at Dr. Loomis's monologue. I've often said that because we're so used to the monologue now and we can recite it off by heart, at least I can, and we've seen the movie 5,000 times, when we get to that scene, we're sort of on autopilot and we just kind of glaze over it. But if you really listen to what he's saying, or even better, read the script, if you really listen to what he's saying, everything you ever need to know about Michael is in that 60-second monologue in that house. Everything you need to know. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years.
Should be the final moments of the movie.
It could be.
Remember I said that?
Yes, you did.
Remember I said that?
You did.
That needs to be the final moments of this movie. It needs to be that monologue.
Yep.
Fade to black.
You could.
And if they don't do it, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
They may not. I don't know. But everything you need to know. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. And he also, there's another one in there too, where he's like, I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience, no understanding in even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. That right there tells you so much. I was told there was nothing left in even the most rudimentary sense. So which just simply means in the simplest sense of good or evil, right or wrong. He's got no understanding. He's not there in even the most simplest basic tasks or sense. He has no understanding of these things. Like everything is there. When you really decipher it, it's very compartmentalized and packaged in this very short monologue that tells you everything you need to know and doesn't tell you fuck all at the same time and keeps and preserves the mystery there. And so this constant trying to explain Michael and decipher him and figure him out and the push pins with the string and all that kind of stuff it's not knowable. That is the whole point. You are seeking an answer that doesn't exist. It's like in a spaceship trying to get to the end of the universe. It's not going to happen. It's forever. It's too, and if there is an end, you'd be dead before you got there anyway. So yeah, I agree. Carl the Third sends in $4.99 and says, "Hey Dave, check your Facebook message and address it here." Carl, I did see that. I think you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, somebody using my profile picture on a fake account. There's a fake account going around, not in my name, by the way. It doesn't say Dave McRae, but there's some fake account that's using my profile pic. What else is new? It's been used before. Lots of channels get it used, and it's I think it's asking people to like subscribe to this link. It's a giveaway or something. I would recommend not doing it. Obviously, it's not me, but you would know that because it's not even my name. It's some weird long name that I don't even get, or understand. So I'm not too worried about it because it's not my name. I mean, if it was my name, then maybe I would make a social media post about it, but I'm not too worried about it at this point. I think that's what you're talking about. If not, my apologies, and I will check a bit later. Carl the Third sends in another $4.99, says, "Dave, Diane is feeling better. She said, thanks for the advice." Amazing. Glad that you're feeling better, Diane. It's all in the bowels. It's all in the bowels. Jeffrey M follows up with another $2 and says, "Favorite Danny McBride movie? Mine is Chud." I have no idea what else he's done. Tony, do you know
what happened?
Your favorite Danny McBride film? I have no idea.
None.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what other movies he's done.
I will say this. There was a movie he was in. I don't. It's not really a Danny McBride film, but he was part of an ensemble that I thoroughly enjoyed. Was Pineapple Express.
I've heard of it.
My fellow weed smokers.
Okay.
You know what's up.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. I liked it.
I got you. Terry Gold sends in $5 and says, "For the channel, thanks for the great content." Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that very much. $2 Sam sends in $1.99 and says, "Dave deserves a cameo in the next Halloween film." I agree. I want to be killed by Michael. I want to, how would I die? I want to be pinned to the wall like Bob. But it's probably not going to happen.
That's a good question. How would I want to be killed?
How would you want to be killed by Michael Myers?
Like my dude got it in 6 when he was banging his chick on the bed. That's how I want to go out.
Somehow I figured you were going to go there. That's how
I want to go out, folks.
Yep. That's what it is. There it is. That's it. So you're more like Bob with Linda, but
literally.
You're more like Bob with Linda, but Bob doesn't leave to go get a beer. He stays in the bed.
No, remember in Halloween 6 when
I remember Halloween 6. Yeah.
Weren't they banging and he killed them?
No, they were. I was just saying that if Bob didn't go down to get a beer, her and Bob probably would have been killed in bed. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I haven't watched 6. I know it's not.
I think it was after.
It's not on my rotation a lot.
I don't think it was on. It was during. No, I'm thinking of 5. Sorry, I'm thinking of Spitz.
Oh, you're thinking of the barn scene.
Barn scene.
You want to go out with like a pitchfork to the back.
I want the pitchfork to the back right as I'm in the middle of banging. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Spitz. And Spitz, was that his name?
I think so, yeah.
And Sammy?
Something like that. Something like that.
She was really hot.
Kratos War sends in $4.99, says, great show, guys. Riding out this hurricane while listening. Ooh, I hope you're staying safe, man. I hope Friday the 13th.
Down there.
Yeah, for sure. I hope Friday the 13th gets made soon to fill the void of no more Halloween movies for a while. I think you're going to get it. Whether it'll be good, I don't know. But I think you'll get it.
I can't. I won't be shocked that if we don't get a new Halloween film within a decade. Within 10 years, I won't be shocked.
Yeah, the question is, what is it? Right? You know, I don't know. That's a what if episode right there. Maybe that's a what if.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
Save that one.
Put that one on the back. We'll save that one.
$2 Sam sends in another $1.99. Thank you, buddy. Says, what if Allison saves the day and dies with Michael? Well, saving the day, how?
All depends on, like, what do you mean by saving the day? Like,
yeah, you mean
saving Laurie and kills him?
Yeah, you mean she sacrifices herself to save Laurie and kills Michael and both of them die? I don't think it would have the same impact. I think if you're going to sacrifice somebody with Michael, it has to be Laurie because of the nostalgic connective tissue and the history of the character. Allison, listen, I like Andy Matichuk. I have no issues with her. I think she's done fine with the material she's been given.
This trilogy, she's been my favorite,
but I
so far.
But I'm not I can't say that she's. It hasn't been about her, She's part of the ensemble, right. But really it's about Laurie. And although she was in more of Kills than Laurie, it's still. This really is Laurie's story, and so for Allison to kill Michael, okay. But then there would have to be some real crazy character work you'd have to do in ends to make that be properly motivated. And for me to feel like, wow, Allison just died. Like right now, I mean, I'm not really feeling that. Yeah, it depends. It depends. If the story had been about Allison and maybe Laurie was killed in the first movie, and then we had followed, or maybe Laurie was never in any of the movies. Maybe it was just always about Allison. Maybe the grandmother was dead, or maybe Jamie Lee Curtis said, I don't want to come back. And she didn't want to come back to do the movies. And they decided to, instead of recast, they decided to just make that she died. And the story was all about Allison. Well, then maybe, because we had been following her. We had been focused on her. We have been, felt her, her character. But now I don't know, Tony, do you, I mean, she's been good,
you know what I want?
But
this is what I want. I want at the very end, no killing of Michael. He takes off his mask. He looks at Allison. He looks at Laurie. And he just simply busts out and he says, in West Haddonfield, born and raised on the mental hospital is where I spent most of my days.
That's good. That's good. You should totally do that as a video.
I should finish off the whole song. Yeah,
100%.
Starts busting out his version of Fresh Prince of Haddonfield.
That'd be funny.
In all seriousness, I mean, I've said it all along. I've been championing Allison to be the heroine, whatever.
Heroine, yeah.
Of this movie. I want to see the torch pass. Because like I said, she's been a highlight for me, one of my favorites.
But is the torch really passed? Well, I guess it is symbolically if they never make another movie.
If they never make another movie, has the torch been passed? No. We have not had that moment yet to where I could sit there and go, this is the moment. The torch now, it's been passed to her. No. So we have not seen that movie. And I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get that. I would love it. I think it's deserving. I think she's earned it from where we saw her in 2018 and to where she was in Kills. Whatever we're going to get in Ends, I don't know yet. I would love to see that. I don't know if we're going to get it. But as far as saving the day, I don't know. I would probably go down the road of Laurie's definitively dead and Allison does get the final kill, but I don't see that happen. But that's just my opinion.
Gotcha. Jonathan McCullough sends in £2 and says, DGG trilogy has been an upgrade from past movies. Well, you know, when we talk about production value and we talk about...
Wait, what? I couldn't hear you. You broke up.
The David Gordon Green trilogy has been an upgrade from past movies. And I will say that I agree with...
Depends on what you're talking about.
Right.
Comparing it to 4, because no, it's not better than 4.
I would say that in terms of production value, I would say in terms of Michael Myers, in terms of the way the mask looks, the music, James Jude Courtney, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I would agree. These are very well made movies, and James Jude Courtney's the best Myers we've had probably since Nick Castle. Some may argue Dick Warlock, but certainly he's a highlight, and the mask looks terrific. They finally got the mask right. So the mask looks great. The music is fantastic.
The 2018 mask is really good. I will say that. The 2018 mask has definitely, that's why I'm having one made. It's definitely grown on me, and I'm anxiously awaiting to do some pictures with that. I haven't warmed up to the Kills and Ends mask yet. I need some more time with it.
I like the Kills.
I
like the Kills mask.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I just haven't I haven't found an artist yet who's nailed it. That's right. More or less why I haven't gone down the road of getting one of those, because I haven't found someone who's like really got the look down yet. But yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. James Jude, obviously he's nailed it for Myers. He's been the best since Nick Castle. I like Warlock. Yeah, he walks around like, you know, Mr. Robotic, but at times, but there are moments where he brought a bit of that Castle style to his performance of Michael in certain scenes. Courtney nails it. Courtney totally got the essence that Nick Castle brought in that original film. My issue is the height difference, is that Michael grew 4 inches, you know, while he was captured again in the hospital. That's my only nitpick. It's a height thing. But as far as like saying it's the best, I mean, it's better than anything we've got after 5 or from 5 and up. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that, but I still think 4 is the more superior sequel in this franchise.
If 4 had the right mask, 4, I like 4. I do. It's just 5 that makes it. 5 makes
shits on 4.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Shits on
it does.
4.
It really does.
You know, it ruins everything that makes 4 such a great movie. That's why I just ignore it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. Mason James sends in $5 and says, why do you think in the trailer Corey tells Laurie that Michael is coming if he is the copycat killer? Well, because I think he probably instinctually knows that Michael is coming. I don't think Corey is, again, I think this will be clear once we see the film. But I don't think Corey is, I think he's he knows where Michael is. He knows what's, he probably feels it instinctually. I don't know. I mean, that's all I can say. Because Michael's in this movie and Michael comes towards the end. It looks very clear again, when you know what's going on, it looks very clear that Michael shows up towards the end of the movie. So that means we might get a lot of really cool kills in this movie that aren't Michael at all. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm on the fence on that. I hope it's I hope it's like, remember what I said earlier tonight? I hope it's equal. I hope we're seeing Corey doing kills, but Michael's also doing his thing too. Like I said, on the back end, everyone's paying attention to over here thinking it's Michael, but it's actually Corey, while Michael's still doing his thing.
Gotcha.
And basically closing in on Corey and maybe takes Corey out. That's what I'm hoping for, because again, to rob the main guy of his finale of his own movie and make him basically just show up in the final act. That would not be good.
Yeah. If that's what they do, it certainly could be an area of contention for sure.
It's going to backfire. People are not, because again, you're telling us this is the last time we are going to see Michael Myers on the screen, and you're telling me I'm not going to get him until the final act. Fuck no.
Right. Where are we here? Paul Blart. I love that movie. Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
What is that? Okay, that's right.
Paul Blart, Mall Cop, Kevin James. I fucking love that movie. Yeah. The second one was, the first one was really funny. Were you guys old enough to remember Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy? Yes. What are your memories of the times? Will you watch the Netflix series? Well, I mean, we were young boys, young kids growing up through the 1980s.
Dahmer got caught in 91.
Oh, I think he died in 91. Was he caught in 91?
He died in 94.
Oh, 94. Okay, so it was 91. No, I remember them. I remember Dahmer more than I remember Gacy.
Yeah, we were too young for Gacy.
Well, when was Gacy? Was he the 70s?
Actually, I don't even know if we were born for Gacy. I think that was in the 70s.
Was Gacy the 70s? Because
double check.
We were born in 79.
That'd be a fun night to get into some Gacy shit.
I don't know. I'm just looking quickly here at.
As far as what was the question? What was the bookend to the question?
Yeah, good idea. And will you be watching the Netflix
thing
series?
Well, Dahmer, I remember it in school. I was more into what caught my attention in school.
It was more in the 70s.
Was Waco and the Unabomber, which the Unabomber was happening. It finally got caught. And then obviously Oklahoma City, but Waco for sure really caught my attention. Dahmer, I just remember we cracked jokes about it, but again, keep in mind in the context of that, when we were making these jokes of what we knew, like we weren't following it because we were kids. I mean, we were 12 when it happened, 91 when we found out about him and the shit he's doing. So we were 12-year-old going into 13-year-old adolescents and being stupid kids. So we would just crack jokes about it and didn't really understand all of it. And it didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like glued to the television like my parents probably were watching it and reading the newspapers, because remember, there's no social media. So it was either reading what you got in the newspapers or watching whatever news channel was covering the Dahmer story. I don't remember watching much of it. I do remember vividly watching a lot of the Waco shit because that went on for like a month, the standoff between them and the ATF and the FBI and all that shit. So I do remember that vividly. As far as the series, I got about halfway
I haven't
through
seen it yet.
I turned it off. The thing it is, look, and here's the thing, because I said this about Stranger Things. I skipped over a lot of Stranger Things to get to the end. My ADD kicks in real quick. You got to get me in and out, if you're going to keep me in, into something, or else I'm just going to lose interest. There's a lot going on with the Dahmer series. I got about maybe to episode 4 and I stopped, and it's not because it's a bad series, but like I said, for me to keep my attention onto something for an extended period, like it's very hard to do. It really, really is. I have the attention span of a fucking squirrel. Okay. Like I'm going here to there and then I'm back.
Or a golden retriever who sees
exactly. Or a golden retriever that loves to chase little fucking animals. You know what I mean? Like that's just, that's me. And it's hard for me to sit through something. And like I said, I did it with Stranger Things. I skipped over all the Russia shit. I don't even know what the hell happened with Hopper in Russia. I just know he was there, then he wasn't, then he was there, and he went again and all that shit.
Wow. Okay.
I skipped. I can't do that. So yeah, I maybe I'll, come back to it.
Well, you can watch clips on YouTube of it, probably.
That too. You know what I mean? But it seems well done. I mean, very thorough. I think they probably could have got it done within 2 episodes. I don't think you needed 10 episodes that are about almost an hour long each. You know what I mean? I think they could have shortened the length of it and probably would have been fine. But the fact that they're still like 4.5 or 5.5, because I stopped at episode 4, so there's 5.5 episodes left that are 50 minutes in length of the series. I'm just like, I can't sit here, man, and just watch this. You'll probably like it. I could see you and your girlfriend sitting down because this is kind of really up her alley. She loves the whole psychoanalysis of an individual and all that stuff like that. So you'll probably get into it, and you guys will probably like it.
Yeah, it's possible.
What was
it's possible.
What was it like up in Canada for you guys with Dahmer? Was it a big thing? Was it a big story?
Sure. Yeah. No. Of course. Yeah. I remember it.
Well, I don't
very
know because
well.
the news and shit's reported. I didn't know if it was different.
No. Well. Okay.
1991.
No.
So we don't have what we have today.
So we are very connected in Canada. We are very connected to what goes on in the U.S. The U.S. You guys know what the fuck goes on up here at all, because we get all your networks. We get CNN, Fox, NBC, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC. I mean, listen, I can rhyme them off. Can you rhyme off Canada networks? No, not at all. You don't even know, right? The Canadians know so much about America, generally. I could probably name all your states if I sat here for a moment, and California, and then you got Washington, Montana, and then Utah, and then Arizona is next to that. Do you know what province is next to Saskatchewan? Nah, I don't fucking got it. You know what I mean? It's just because we are so inundated with the culture and the history and the entertainment and the movies and the music and the shows and the news and all that kind of stuff. So, we were very aware of Dahmer or Dahmer. And, but have you heard of...
Actually, you know what? I stand corrected. I did get through the entire Waco series without stopping. But see,
well, that's good.
Waco series... you know what though, that Waco series that they did, well, one, it was an interest, so obviously I was very interested in that, because I was interested in the story. It was the pacing, it was the beat, it was on a good pace. The Dahmer thing, I think it's a bit slow paced, for me anyways, to where I'm doing a lot of so if I'm sitting here, which is basically a demonstration of how I'm doing this, I'm kicking back and I'm doing a lot of this as the series is going on, and I'm starting to do a lot. You know what I mean? I'm drifting off as the episode is going on. I'm walking out, while scenes are happening, because it's just not keeping my attention locked in like Waco did. And the Unabomber series also, I was able to stay into it without really, getting. But I don't know, this one, it just, I don't know. I think they could have got it done in 3 episodes.
I get you.
I don't think they needed full 10, but that's just my opinion.
I get you.
It wasn't bad. I don't think it was for me.
I got you. All right. I got to go. So we got to get through these here.
Got a lot of super chats.
I know. That's why I want to get through them. Sweet Tea sends in $10. Thank you, Sweet Tea. There she is. She says, for the channel, my friends, be safe too. P.S. I am in Northwest Florida. We are good. Thank you. Cool. North... okay, yeah, so kind of at the top there. All right, I gotcha. Well, thank goodness you're okay. Howard sends in $5 and says, I finally bought an It's Me, Billy Blu-ray on eBay for $229. Dude, you got ripped off, man. What the fuck are you doing? What are you being serious? Are you just being... See, it's hard to... No, I don't know. I mean, maybe there was a It's Me, Billy Blu-ray on eBay. I'm not sure.
Somebody pawned off your eBay, or somebody sold a Blu-ray copy of your movie on eBay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Can they legally do that?
Well, they own it, right? I mean, they
but the
I don't know.
The principal rights to the movie,
no idea.
The IP.
No idea. And it's not my concern because I'm not the one selling it. So
no, that's
I don't know.
But I'm just wondering how they could.
I don't know.
How they could have gotten.
But I mean, for $229, dude. I mean,
Damn.
$30, sure, but $229? You spent $200. I think he's joking. He's got to be joking. However, this is Amoeba. No, Amoeba is what my girlfriend and I call it as sort of just a joke between us. This is Amoeba Music. This is a very famous story.
Until the delay.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, you have your video.
Well, it's on my hoodie on the left side of my hoodie. Amoeba Music is a very famous music store in Hollywood. And one of the last times I was talking to Vincent DeSanti, he said to me, I think it was Amoeba he was in, maybe a year or so ago. He was in there, and Amoeba has it's got vinyl and movies and pop culture stuff. It's massive. It's massive. It's a very famous store. It's been around for decades. And he was in there and he was looking at the used Blu-rays, I guess it was, or something. And he's there and he comes across a used copy of Never Hike Alone. And he's like, what the fuck? Whatever. So he bought it. I think he bought it. I think he did. I stand here. Maybe he didn't. But he was like, what? So somebody had a used copy, obviously, because they purchased it there. And I guess they didn't need it anymore. Didn't want it. So they took it to Amoeba and sold it to them. So I thought that was really kind of funny. So it wouldn't be unprecedented to find a copy of your, film around or whatever, but $229. Does the chat room know? Do they know that he's fucking around? I would imagine that he's just busting our balls. And dude, if you did spend $229 and you got ripped off, I just want to say, not because I don't think my movie is good, it's because no Blu-ray is worth $229 unless it's some, I don't know, obscure, but even then. But if you did watch it and you really enjoyed it, well, I'm glad that it was worth it. Wow. I hope you're not being true. I hope you're joking.
I'm quite intrigued by the dialogue going on in the chat between Rosa, Brooke, and Maga. Getting a little threesome action going on there. I'm feeling kind of left out.
Calm down, guys. Let's keep it PG. Let's keep it PG.
It's good fun, but
good fun. Okay. Well, let's just remember. Just remember. We don't just remember. You have no idea who's on the other side of that avatar.
Just remember.
I'm just saying.
Three's a crowd, but four's a party.
Well, that's true. But if you don't know who's on the other side of the avatar, I'm just saying. They're just avatars, folks.
You could end up with
you could end up with a 6'2", 280-pound guy named Buck.
Brittany Murphy from oh my God. The 90s movie that she did with Alicia Silverstone.
Clueless, yeah.
Crazy chick.
Well, or you could,
how crazy she was?
Well, yeah, maybe, but at least it's a girl who's, attractive. I mean, you could wind up with a guy who's 6'2", 280 pounds, and his name is Buck.
That's true. You don't know if it's a dude.
You don't know if it's a dude. You don't know if it's
I know is Brooke, because Brooke and I are
well, yeah, Brooke. Yes, I know, but I'm just saying, you never know who's on the other side of the avatars. I'm just saying, calm your fucking hormones.
But just remember, folks, 3's a crowd, 4's a party. That's my advice for tonight.
All right, you guys are desperate. You need to get action.
You could go for 4, meaning like it could be you and 3 women. So
Tony.
I just went full Charlie Sheen there.
Well, you did. Winning. Harry Hagen sends in $10, says, in the beginning of Ends, 2 detectives talk about Michael, and one says they never found his body. Later, Corey tells Michael in Bus's voice, "You're not playing Michael Myers. I'm playing Michael Myers." Fuck, Harry, I would lose it. I would laugh and just continue to eat my popcorn and think, okay, so this is what we're doing. Can you imagine?
This is what we're doing.
Oh my God, it'd be awful. Harry follows up with $5.
I don't want to imagine.
I don't want to either. Harry follows up with $5 and says, what would you bet money on? Ezra Miller having a successful movie career, or Rob Zombie making a great movie? Actor who played Herman was bad like Sherry, in Harry's opinion. I would say what's more likely? Ezra Miller having a success. I would say Ezra Miller having a successful movie career because I'm Hollywood's very forgiving.
I'm going to bet on my boy Rob. I'm still hopeful. I can't give up on him. I'm still hopeful. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of his music and whatnot. I just, man, you don't understand, dude. I am still bummed about the Munsters. I was so hopeful because I did see the trailers. The teaser was really good. I love the vibe of the teaser with the old theme song and everything and the intro. That was cool. I would love to have just been able to have like a one-on-one conversation with him and be like, dude, you were on the doorstep of doing something so fucking good. Why? What does she have over you, dude? I need to know this because I don't understand it, man. Like
sex.
Sex. Like you're a filmmaker. You're putting all this work into it.
It's the power that women have over men. It's always sex.
I get it. The mouth and the vagina are like huge power tools, and I'm not.
Sounds like
a
morning radio show.
But it's like it's got to be incredible. It's got to be something that's so fucking insanely good that because it's if you do watch whether you do it in color or black or white, if you do, you're gonna understand the moment you watch the movie. You're gonna be like, because it's painful to watch.
I'm in no rush
on screen as Lily. You know what I mean? It's just like, but then when you watch it juxtaposed to everything else, you're like, you're putting all this fucking work in to make this at least a Munsters quality type movie. Why are you shortening yourself?
Because he's Rob Zombie.
I get it.
Anyway, Joe Perez sends in $5 and says, "Hi, my name is Dylan." Oh, Joe's name is Dylan. Do you guys have a favorite Ghostbuster? I love that movie. That's a great. I would probably go between Peter and Ray, maybe. I don't know. What about you? You have a favorite Ghostbuster?
Gotta say, given the way I talk, gotta go with Peter.
Go with Peter. Yeah.
You know,
but I love Bill Murray.
Like when you see him flirting with women, that I can relate.
I love Bill Murray.
I'm a Bankman.
There you go. Dalton Barron sends in $5 and says, "Good to see y'all back. I know y'all joke about Loomis shooting Jamie in H4. Imagine this. He sees Jamie and screams, and it cuts to black. Then you hear a shot. Well, hey, that's not bad because you don't know if he hit her or not. You don't know if he hit the wall, if he missed. Ooh, it cuts to black, and then, but then again, you hear Jamie scream. I wouldn't have her scream. I would have him point the gun. She's there at the top of the stairs. Mika reaches in as if he's about to get to Loomis. Then you cut to black, and then what happened? You've seen that kind of thing in films before, though.
I'd have Loomis go right up to her and bada bing all over your Ivy League suit, just like in The Godfather.
There you go. Totally. Well, I mean, I have a video on my channel where I talk about Loomis and the cops and machine guns and just go, and Jamie's just all the blood squibs and she's going nuts and can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my God. People are like, oh my God. Totally. Somebody's got to animate that shit.
Hey, before you end here, man, I got 100 people already connected to me from this stream. That's insane. Thank you.
Amazing.
Appreciate that.
Amazing.
Appreciate that.
Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. And if you're not already following me on my social media, what are you doing? Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all in the description. Let me see here. Mason James sends in $5, says, "Do you think that they're putting it on Peacock because they couldn't make enough money in theaters? How much do you think Peacock pays them to stream?"
Oh, Peacock paid. Peacock knew what they were doing. They got
for sure.
money from this, and they paid.
Yes, and I no, I don't think that's it. I think believing that they're putting it on Peacock because it's a bad movie or something. I don't think that's it at all. It's a $20 million budgeted film. It's very low risk. It's a Halloween movie, and I think they're putting it on Peacock because it's going to reach more people, and it's still going to make its money back in the theaters.
Yeah. And Peacock knew that was a good bit. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I can
and
enjoy
Peacock. Sorry, I was just going to say, and Peacock is owned by NBC, and of course they're under the Universal brand, but they're not. I mean, there's still money that has to flow, between all the companies, and for sure that they were everybody got paid, including Peacock. Let's just say that. And but this idea that it's going to Peacock because it's bad and Universal knows it's bad and they just decide to put on Peacock. No. That's not the case at all. It's a $20 million movie. It cost $20 million to make, maybe another 20 mil to market. This thing is even last year during a pandemic, it made $131 million at the box office.
Exactly.
It's low risk. It's low risk.
The Rob Zombie analogy, because Munsters went straight to Netflix. No. Here's the thing. Rob Zombie was one actress away from making a really fucking great movie. I mean, that's it. That's what separates him from having a great film to a shitty film. So it's not so going straight to streaming. No, I think Peacock knew what they were doing. It's a great business deal. And like I said, I'm excited because if I don't have to go to the theaters, yeah, I'm good.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Let me see here. And then Howard follows up with $2, says, "Yes, it was a sealed Billy Blu-ray. I can afford it." Wow, dude. Holy snapping crap. Well, I mean,
I still want to know how they legally did that.
I have no idea. No idea. But they did. And they made $230 off it too. That's insane that a movie I made.
Hey man, good on you for the hustle.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, I just think it's funny that a movie I made sold on eBay for $230. All right. Hey, and listen, I'm just very thankful you liked it. You liked it because then at the very least, you feel you got your money's worth. And hopefully we can count on hey man, if you're willing to spend $230 on a Sealed Billy Blu-ray, I hope we have your support during the Indiegogo campaign for Chapter 2. Just saying. All right, I think I've got all the super chats here. I don't think I missed any. So that is gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this episode of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit, episode 165. Thank you, of course, to our great moderators, Cody Snyder, Andrew Stevens, Darren Sands, Frank Reiger, Tabitha Short, Chris Baber. Got to remember them all now. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all the super chat questions that came in. Of course, really appreciate you guys supporting the channel on that level. And comment below if you're watching after the fact on what you thought of the Halloween Ends trailer and all sort of the things that Tony and I discussed here today. Start the discussion below and let Tony and I know. Tony, any last things you want to say?
No, we're going to be on back Monday, right? For sure.
Yeah, as far as I know, unless anything comes up, we should be back next Monday night at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is the beginning of our Halloween sort of run here. Tony and I will be watching
Halloween run for you guys.
Tony and I are watching Halloween 18 next Monday night, and then the week after that, Kills,
revisit.
And then that's right, yeah, we're revisiting those movies.
Getting ready for Ends.
So it should be good. Unless, of course, something comes up and we have to rework a few things, but you will always know. But right now, things look good, and they should be okay. So yeah, that'll do it for us. Any last things you want to say, Tony? Later, bitches. All right. In the meantime and in between time, we will talk to you soon. Cheers.